Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Week 2 Pro Night here in Season 4 of Series Z Apex Legends. My name is Yeso. I'll be your host tonight. As always, excited to be back once again. We had another banger performance from Team Vizio last night. That's 2 weeks in a row that they have absolutely, crushed open night competition. And we'll see if this time around they can translate that into some Pro Night success. Remember, we got our 6 partnered squads competing against some of the best pro teams from all across North America here tonight. So it's going to be a fun show. Now, if you guys are new to us here at Esports Arena and Series Z, I just want to break down how things work, okay? Series Z is a professional esports open circuit across multiple titles. We've got Apex Legends, Guilty Gear Strive, and the newly minted Halo Infinite coming very soon. Now, the way you get in, you play in our qualifiers. If you are a top finisher in the qualifiers, you get the opportunity to get signed by us here and drafted to represent one of our awesome partnered brands. Now, once you get drafted and signed, you get paid a monthly salary. You get to compete every single week for points and prize money, and you can continue to hold on to that sponsorship as long as you continue to succeed here. If you want to get in on the fun and check out more information, make sure to head over to matcherino.com/ESA or check out our website over at esportsarena.com. Now, we do have a ton of action to get into here tonight. I mentioned Team Vizio trying to carry some momentum from their open night victories, but before we get into all the Apex fun, we've got a little fun we like to play here at the start of our show, our favorite game show, Deal or Steal, and I've got a special guest joining me on the show today. It is Vatro from CLG, my all-time favorite org in esports. Vatro, welcome to the show, my friend. Happy to have you. How we doing?
I'm doing good. I hope you've been well, and I'm glad to be here.
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm excited to have you on the show here today. We're going to have a little bit of fun, maybe win some cool stuff. But let's pull up the rules for the folks at home, just so you know how things work here, okay? I've got 20 Apex Legends crates with a range of awesome prizes from us here at Esports Arena and our awesome Series Z partners. To start off the show, Vatro is going to pick one of those. We'll set it aside, and he'll hold on to it for the end of the game. We're then going to go through multiple different rounds, eliminating crates and prizes off of the board. At the end of each of those rounds, though, I will have a deal for Vatro. He can either take it or he can elect to steal and keep playing the game. If we get to the end of all 3 rounds and he hasn't taken any of my deals, we'll crack open that crate he set aside at the start and he will get the prize that is inside. Does that sound good to you, Vatro?
Sounds like a good plan. I'm ready to win.
Sounds good. Hey, let's slap the game up on the board. You can see some of the prizes here that you can win today. Is there one that jumps out to you there? You know, we got a Vizio flat screen, some Razer peripherals, a Walmart gift card, maybe some Esports Arena swag.
Dude, honestly, some Esports Arena swag would not be a bad thing. Or, you know, I just ran out of my waters, so, you know, maybe a little splash crate of water could do me good.
Okay, you know what? It sounds like really it's kind of a win-win for you. There's a lot of good stuff up here for you. We'll find out what you get. But let's start it off. Crates 1 through 20. You got to set one aside here to kick things off. Which one is it going to be?
Let's go with lucky number 14.
Lucky number 14. All right. I had Impulse from Noble on with me last night. He picked lucky number 13. He walked home with with one of those Series Z dad hats like I'm rocking here on the show today. So we'll have to see,
that's a W.
We'll have to see how things work out here today. So we set 14 aside first round, 9 crates that we got to open and knock some prizes off the board. So where are we starting?
Let's start with 4.
Okay, we set aside 14. We're going to open up number 4 first, up in the top right-hand corner. Looking to knock off some of those white tier prizes here at the start. We'll see if Vatro can get that good start. And he will. The Intel jacket off the table in crate number 1. Well played there. Good find in the first crate. What's next?
Let's go ahead and hit 20. Let's hit the opposite.
Okay. Number 20. We're doing the reverse right now of what Impulse did. He started at 20 and went 4, went counterclockwise. The Red Bull pack, though, inside of crate number 20. That's 2 white tiers off the table early. We're building some momentum here. Are we going to 17 next? What are you thinking? Where are we going?
Yeah, I'm with you on 17. Let's do it.
Okay. Okay. Vetro's going to keep it rolling. We're going to 17, going to that bottom left-hand corner. Can we find 3 in a row? Ooh, that one's going to sting. The Razer Black Widow V3 wireless keyboard. That one's going to hurt a little bit, but that's okay. I think we still got a solid round going. What are we thinking now?
Let's go ahead. Let's get 1. Let's just knock out the corners.
Okay. Let's do it. I'm all for it. Vetro came in with a strategy today. He's working on the rotations before the games even start. Series E hat there inside of number 1. One of those 2 prizes available. That's a good pull here to get us back on track. All right. Corners are out of the way. What's the plan now?
Let's go ahead and hit 7.
Number 7, okay. Is number 7 going to be lucky number 7, or will it come back to bite Vetro here? It's going to be lucky number 7. 2,150 Apex coins inside of there. Do you have all your heirlooms yet, Vetro?
I have all the ones that I want, so we're good on the heirlooms.
Vetro doesn't need the Apex coins then. Good to go. Love to hear it. All right, so number 7 off the board. That's 5. 4 more to go before my first deal.
Let's go ahead and get 6.
Number 6, okay. Inside of that one is going to be one of the 2 $50 Walmart gift cards. You could get plenty of water with that. You'd be well stocked and well hydrated.
100%. 100%.
Okay. 6 down, 3 to go.
Let's go ahead and get out number 16.
16, okay. Number 20 treated you well. Can number 16 do the same? We're certainly hoping so. Oh no, the Vizio 55-inch 4K UHD Smart TV. That's the banger off the table.
That one stings a little bit.
Yep, that one's gonna hurt.
Stings a little bit.
But you know what? There's still plenty of Esports Arena swag. 2 jerseys, 2 mystery boxes, a hat if you need one. So all is not lost. 2 more to go in round 1.
All right, let's go ahead. I was eliminating numbers that I liked, and then I just lost the biggest prize. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to take out number 5.
I'm going to do a little bit of a U-turn here. Up to number 5. Back up to the second row here. That's been a bit of a coin flip so far. Series E jersey of your choice inside of crate number 5. I'll tell you what, the new jerseys, got to test them all out when we got them all in. They're nice. They're real comfy, light. They look good. So, you know, one's still on the table. All right, last one.
Let's go ahead and let's get number 2.
Number 2, he says, okay. Up to the top row for the final crate of round number 1. We want to finish on a high note here. Can we do it? Yes, we can. The Splash Water Pack off the table there to close round 1. Okay. Vetro, this one was a bit of a roller coaster, my friend. A couple of those bottom row prizes, 3 of them actually, off of the table early, but there's still some good stuff up there. Maybe we hook up, you know, I see you rocking the buds, but I may, you know, maybe there's a Razer headset in your future. But my first deal for you here, you said you don't need any Apex coins. I don't know if you're looking to maybe grab that Watson heirloom when that one comes out. So we'll hold off on those for now. But maybe a little Nerf blaster. You and the boys messing around. You need to wake somebody up. You start rolling in with a Nerf Ultra 2 motorized blaster. What are you thinking? You want to take a deal? Or are we going to keep playing, say, Steel, and maybe hope for some of the Esports Arena gear later in the show?
I mean, a Nerf blaster's hard. It's hard to resist that, but I'm going to have to continue stealing.
Okay. Hey, I respect it. You thought about it long and hard. Vetro's going to say Steel. We're going to keep playing. Still some great prizes on the board. Round 2, 6 crates have got to go this time around. Where are we starting?
All right, let's go ahead and knock out number 8. Let's just get that row out of the way.
Okay. I think that's a good plan. Can we hunt down one of those few white tiers left in here? Ooh, it's the other Series E jersey of your choice. That
one stings a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we need a quick recovery here, though. Where are one of those white tears hiding? I need you to sniff it out. That you got to have that Loba passive on.
I'm feeling the white tears got to be number 12.
Okay. Petro's calling a shot. Number 12. Is it one of the white tier prizes he's hoping to find? It's not, but the 2,150 Apex points, that's still a good find in number 12.
We'll take it.
Okay. Good recovery. What's next?
Let's go ahead and hit number 9.
Number 9. 3 more to open after this one. Number 9 is the big boy Apex prize. 6,700 Apex coins in there. But it's okay. Petro said he's got all the heirlooms he needs, so that's fine. It's not
exactly.
It's not one of the Esports Arena mystery boxes. It's not the Razer headset.
Exactly.
We're still on track. 3 to go.
Still a lot of good prizes up for sure.
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and knock out number 13.
All right. Impulse set it aside to start the show last night. Vetro saved it for round 2 to open up this time around, and it's the Esports Arena mystery box. There's still another one on the board, though. All is not lost, ladies and gents, okay? All is not lost. There's still a chance. Okay.
How many more do we got to knock out here?
2 more.
Okay. All right.
2 more to go.
Let's go ahead and take out. I feel like number 3's got something good in it. So let's go 18.
Okay, we're going to save number 3 up there in the top row. We'll go back to the bottom row. We haven't visited since the start of round 1. Let's see, we got something good hiding down here. It's one of the Nerf blasters, the Nerf Ultra 2 motorized blaster hiding inside number 18. You're continuing to knock those white tears off the table. Last one of the round, Vetro. Which one is it going to be?
Let's go ahead. Let's knock out number 3.
Ooh, you thought it might have something good in it, but we're going to close round 2. Cracking this puppy open. Is it a good call? It is. The Splash Water Pack. Well done. Okay. We're in a really good spot right now. While you did hit the last jersey and one of those Esports Arena mystery boxes, I say that was a great round overall. And the deal I'm going to have for you is going to get a little bit better. With that Razer headset on the board and the Walmart gift card, there's some high-tier prizes still up for grabs. This time around, I got an Esports Arena mystery box for you. You said you want to take some of that swag home. You want to rep it. I'm all for it. I want to hook you up with some Esports Arena swag. So are you going to take the mystery box? Just so we're clear, if you say steal, we will open 3 more crates. I will have a final deal for you. If you don't take that deal, then we open 14. So what are you thinking?
Let's send it. Let's go steal. And
okay.
Let's bet big on number 14.
You know what? Hey, and the other Esports Arena mystery box could be hiding inside 14 all along. I appreciate you playing the long game. So we're in the last round. 10, 11, 15, 19. 3 have got to go. Where are we going to start?
All right, let's go ahead and start with number 15.
Okay. Number 15. Nuzzled up right next to number 14 that we set aside to start the show, and it's the other Esports Arena mystery box. That one's going to sting. Okay. 2 to go. All is not lost, Vetro. You're still in this.
I know. Well, now I'm just focused in on that headset for real. So now I'm really nervous about my pick. So, let's go ahead. Let's take out number 19.
Number 19. All right. Last one of the bottom row. 18 treated you well earlier. Can 19 do the same? It's the Razer Black Widow. We already knocked that one off the board. There we go. We opened up the wrong one. It's the headset. No.
They got me.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. take a moment, take a breath. There's still a Walmart gift card, a Nerf blaster, a dad hat available.
Now I'm
10 or 11.
shooting for that dad hat.
Okay,
Shooting
10 or
for the dad
11
hat.
has got to go. Which is going first? What's up?
Let's go with number 10.
Number 10.
10's got to go.
10's got to go. Matro wants the dad hat. Is hoping it isn't hiding in here. It's the Nerf Fortnite BAR motorized dart blaster inside of number 10. And now we're in, I would argue, a really good spot. 11 and 14 on the table. I've got a final deal for you here. The $50 Walmart gift card is available. So is the dad hat. One of those is in 14. The question is, do you risk opening it up? Because I'm going to offer you here the same thing again. We're going back to the Esports Arena mystery box. What are you thinking? There could be a dad hat hiding in the mystery box too when you get it. Who knows? But do you want to risk it for the gift card, or are you just taking the swag and headed home?
Let's take the swag and head home. Because nonetheless, even if I don't get the dad hat, I'm getting some Esports Arena swag. So
that's a W. You know what, Matro? I love it. The Esports Arena mystery box will be yours. We're going to put that one together special for you and send it your way. Appreciate your time, my man. Hey, do you want to ask you, bunch of games here to play tonight. Obviously, the lobby pretty stacked. Some big names in there. How are you and the squad feeling right now? I know ALGS has been kind of a roller coaster for you guys here so far in the fall. How are you guys feeling right now?
We're feeling really good going into our future games. Ever since the last week of Pro League, we switched our IGL role, and ever since then, it seems like everything's starting to go to plan, and everything's starting to flow smoothly. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time. Best of luck in tonight's game. I'll be definitely keeping an eye on you. I'm rocking, I got the CLG joggers on in the studio right now.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Even if I'm rooting for, the partner teams, there's a little part of me that's always pulling for you guys. So best of luck tonight. Looking forward to seeing y'all play.
Well, I appreciate that, and thanks for the kind words.
Hey, always a pleasure. That was Vetro of CLG joining me. Remember, if you guys want to come play Deal or Steal with me, you can have a shot to do so. You just got to make sure you're subscribed to us here at twitch.tv/esports arena to get a shot to come and play with me. Maybe you can win that Vizio TV or one of those other awesome prizes. Now, as we get ready to get into the action here for week 2, honestly, there's a ton of storylines to cover. I already touched on Team Vizio. They had 119 points last Tuesday. They followed up with a 90-point performance last night. They've won 7 of the 12 open night games here in the first 2 weeks. But the question is can they translate that into Pro Night? And this is, of course, a squad that has had success in tough lobbies. Under the name W in the ALGS Pro League, they finished top 10 in North America at the end of the first split and will be competing in the North American playoffs come next month. But they didn't translate the momentum from their good performance last Tuesday into Wednesday night. The question is, can they do that this time around? I think they're a really strong team, and the potential is there, but it doesn't mean that they've been able to execute it on it so far, so we'll have to see what they can do. Another couple of squads to keep an eye on, of course, from the partnered side is Team Excedrin and Team Intel. They round out the current top 3 in our partnered standings, and obviously are at the very least early on in the season secure that they could get a shot to return next season. They've kind of had an up and down performance, but Excedrin is a team that I'm very excited about. I talked about them at the beginning of the season as one of the most consistent squads through qualifiers, and while they weren't getting top placings inside of the top 3 during quals, every night they were guaranteed to put up a solid amount of points, and it's a big reason why when you look at the other crop of squads that did get signed based on qualifiers, all of them, had nights that they won, had nights where they were finishing second place, putting up big numbers, and Excedrin, despite not having any of those kinds of performances, got in because they just always came to play. They didn't really have any down nights, and that is an important thing when you come into Series E in the long season that these players are going to play. This is a 16-week long circuit. It is a lot of games you have to play, and while some teams have their ups and downs, have those roller coaster showings, the best squads, and you can look at Season 2 Team Pringles for reference, The best squads are the squads that come out every single week and put points on the board, because that's what it's all about. You don't win because you won the most open nights. You win because you just finish at the top of that cumulative point leaderboard. So very important things to keep an eye on, and definitely keep an eye on Excedrin. Now, we're getting ready to throw into the show. We got a couple of great casters on it today. Tons of action, 6 games. We got 20 incredible teams competing here tonight. Some cash on the line and big points for our partnered squads to fight for. Let's get into the action and kick off Pro Night here in Series E. Hey everyone, Yeso Claus here to wish you a very happy holidays. We here at Esports Arena are definitely getting into the spirit of the season. And it all starts off with the 12 days of Gamesmas. Kicking off on December 2nd and running all the way through December 19th, we'll have tournaments going on for a range of awesome titles, including Apex Legends, Smash Ultimate, Halo Infinite, and more. The awesome part is you can earn points throughout the entire event. Now you get points by participating in tournaments, placing high in said tournaments as well, and if you come and donate canned food or toys for Toys for Tots. We've also got some awesome Esports Arena merch bundles going on all throughout the month of December. So if you're looking for a stocking stuffer or a present for that gamer in your family, make sure to check those out and pick one up. If you need any further information about Gamesmas and what we've got going on, head over to matcherino.com/ESA today and come and spend your holidays with us here at Esports Arena. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Eat, Speak, Compete.
Eat, Speak, Compete.
Yes.
Name, incredible. Logo, even better.
I'm your host, as always, Yeso, joined by my co-host, Luke Shimoni. Brew.
There's a lot to unpack there. I don't even know where to start.
If one of the North American teams doesn't win, their 2021 season is done. I got my fingers crossed. I think you got this. Let's turn more towards the competitive side. They finished strong.
Like 35-2.
They finished strong. They
Really, if the only intent is, hey, let's make this game as esports as possible, then sure, but that's never going to be what Nintendo does.
And I'm very curious to see what kind of their first take on what a Valorant World Championship should look like.
Dang. That's super fun sounding.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
That sounds super fun. I think that, like,
Fruit, refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. They're all our top flavored smash.
It's fruit freshin'.
I'm fading.
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast.
Excedrin, game over for headaches.
One shot, now the future is yours. Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on applying the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. With the bars and the breaks, I'm talking one chance at the soul. Go for the goal. It's one shot. Now the future is yours. Go.
Apex Legends?
Apex Legends Series E Apex Legends starts right now.
And now we're seeing once again, just like Game 2, slow down, but Fury
time and time again, and cheese it. If they think they're winning it, chances are they're winning it.
It gets thirsted by Zera Tricky as Hacula's going to come around the corner with the spray, and now it's just one player alive over here, and this was
All right, welcome everybody to Series E. It's week number 2 and it's Pro Night number 2. I know we had some big Apex action taking place earlier today, but we also have some big names competing. Of course, bringing you all the action. It's myself, Jamerson, joined once again by Tom T-Squared Taylor. Tom, it's like I just saw you earlier this week. How are you doing, man?
Doing good. Just got done with a 16-hour gaming session yesterday. We're back at it again. We're casting Apex all weekend and week, but we're here for Pro Day, which is extremely exciting because we know exactly what's coming around, right? We have the holidays coming around, and next month's going to be the playoffs, so all the teams really getting that last-minute practice in.
Yeah, getting the last-minute practice and then a well-deserved break before all the action gets extremely hot. But tonight we have 6 matches in store for you. Like we said, our partnered squads will be facing off against some of the best North American teams tonight in 6 matches on World's Edge. It's going to be ALGS standard, really exciting stuff. Last week we saw some great stuff coming out from basically all of our Team Intels. It was basically a Christmas story for Team Intel because we had, Team Intel of Christmas past, Christmas future, everything coming in and showing off how strong the Intel buff actually is. Let's go ahead and take a look at the format, though, just to break it down a little bit more for you guys at home. For anyone that's new to the ALGS point system, this is what we do. Every single kill point, or every single kill, is recorded as 1 point, and of course the placements are just like they are kind of like in ranked and in an ALGS. So 1 point for 15th on down, and then all the way up to 12 points for first place. And so it's super important to be able to place high and also frag high. Right now, though, we also have $500 on the line for tonight's game, with first place walking away with $350 and second place walking away with $150. So now, the big question is, who are the teams that will be competing against, well, let's just say all the Team Intels, because, again, last week they did an amazing job, and here are the squads that will be facing off against our partnered squads tonight.
You can see everybody is inside of here, except one last-minute change. C9 is actually not here, so hopefully they're going to be back for the next Pro Day. But we have the most stacked lobby in basically all of Apex on a week-to-week basis. So if you're not here for the Pro Night, you should definitely check it out. It's basically every single week except when we are taking some occasional times off. But you can see everybody is in this list. And we actually got a chance to cast some of Protectful OXG a couple days ago coming in with that Facebook gaming tournament, which was really nice to see. TSM, the big question is how they're going to play with Vorholz. Vorholz, I'm not really going to question him. I think that he is one of the most talented up-and-coming players that we have in all of North America, and it's just going to be awesome to see how he kind of replaces what Snipedown was on that team, who's officially moved on over to Halo Infinite temporary. But when we're looking at the partnered teams, I think we saw a lot of great stuff like you talked about from Cody, Petty Boss, and Moni, and there's no question that Petty Boss has been doing it for quite some time. It's just a matter of when was that team going to come in and really play well together with him. And I think that they found the right mix of players.
Yeah, it was all about timing for that squad. And honestly, it's always been about kind of timing for Petty Boss, you know, because he always does have some like really good rosters, but they just never find the right kind of mesh to make things succeed. But it looks like this is the formula for success, and also having that intel buff. Like we said, last week it was Team Ghost, Ghost Gaming, that walked away with the win. And we had Team Intel coming in second place. Heck, we even had, who was it? Team Esports Arena taking fourth place there. So the top four finishers, all Intel at 1 point or another. And we'll see if that comes to fruition tonight. But you have to imagine, you know, with getting warmed up this morning, maybe, you know, teams like TSM will show up. You can never count them out. Having that new Verhulst edition, even though you swap out Snipedown for him, I feel like it was just a turnkey edition. Things have changed a little bit on that team. But I still like that. Another big change that, you know, I want to talk about is the Ghost change, bringing in Madness. I mean, Madness is one of the most winningest players in Apex Legends, and now he's adding on his experience with players that are just as experienced as well in Six and Panders.
Yeah, you have multiple winners there with Six and Madness coming through. And Ghost Gaming is a very aggressive team. And when you look at their mechanics and you look at how individually skilled they are, Madness and Six are two players that are just absolutely cracked. And they're going to be running around and just pulling off plays that you wouldn't really expect from your typical, you know, pro player. And that's just because they're an elite status of player. And when you go and add that type of experience, that winning experience from Madness, that's going to be really good. But you're also looking at, you know, teams like Liquid, who have been trying out a handful of different compositions along the way. We've seen Fun pull out a handful of different legends. And I believe Fun just placed second in Twitch Rivals yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, too. So he's been coming through and playing very well. But I'm looking at Team Liquid and wondering when they're going to perform, because it's disheartening for me to watch, you know, these players who are so talented just run around and play compositions that are almost troll, where I think there's no way they think that's going to work. If you think that Fuse is going to be viable for competitive, I don't know what the heck they're smoking.
You know, they did also, well, Fun did anyhow, I believe, came off a pretty big win earlier today during the 100K. I believe he took second K with Lulu's squad. Yeah, so that was today. He took that second. So, you know, he's going to be pretty happy. And I don't know if I should feel proud about this, but I think I might have goaded Nocturnal into playing Revenant Ash tonight. We'll find out. So
it's you the whole time.
I see. You might get the Revenant Ash. I don't know. A little bit of Nenstigator on my side, but if anything else, it'll be entertaining, of course. And we love to see when these pros take the fights. You know, sometimes it's not the perfect kind of ALGS late game that everyone expects when it comes out of competition, but sometimes you just want to see teams frag out, fight it out, take the 3v3 bubble fights and just push and W key each other. And if we get that tonight, I'll still be happy, because it's still fun Apex at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, we even had an opportunity to do, it was a couple of days ago, Legend, like Royal Rumble Royale, where we spun a wheel and got to pick random legends. And I feel like that's what Liquid's been doing, where it's just like, all right, let's spin the wheel of Jamerson. Let's find out what Jamerson has for us this week. Apparently it's Revenant and Ashe. I think that Gibraltar could potentially work with that team composition. I think that Gibraltar is going to be well over a 95% pick rate overall. But when we're looking at the meta and we're looking at what teams are running, I'm curious what TSM is going to run, because I think that it's absolutely crazy to put Verhulst on Bloodhound. I think he's way too talented. I think that Valkyrie is still extremely strong. So I want to see them go. I would if I was captaining their team, not like I am, or if I was coaching their team and not like I am, 1,000%, it doesn't take, a crystal ball to realize that Verhulst should definitely be on Valkyrie. Hal needs to switch over from Wraith to Ashe because Ashe is stronger, and then stick reps on Gibraltar, and boom, your composition's done.
Yeah, I'm not against Verhulst being on the Bloodhound. I mean, that's where we kind of really were able to first spot him out. Remember the qualifiers for Series E Season 3, that's what we saw out of him before the Valkyrie came into the meta. He had some time for adjustment, but you can see what the controller players can really do on it. Having that extra mobility, having that verticality with her, and the additional movements that you don't have on the Bloodhound, it gives you a lot more outplay potential when the mouse and keyboard players try to take that fight really up close, try to use their movement to, really dodge out on you. Having that verticality will give you that same kind of competitiveness. And so I do want to see Verhulst back on that, because he has really come into his own, and it is basically one of his best forms right now. But I'm not against the Bloodhound. We'll see, though, if TSM end up making any of those swaps, because I think right now they also kind of feel a little bit in their own rut. I don't believe Hal did incredibly well today in the 100K. I can't remember exactly where he placed, but yeah, I think they do want to find some changes for themselves, find their identity once again, and that's always kind of what happens when you do have those like learning curves. When Albralele left and Snipedown joined, and then there was a long period for TSM when they were trying to figure out how they wanted to play before they finally nailed it down. But it looks like we do have game number 1 coming up very shortly. Now, again, it's going to be on World's Edge, and we're seeing some interesting stuff coming out. But right now, it is very, very much so the Valkyrie meta. A lot less caustics than we saw in the past, but caustics are still in play. And here we go, heading into the first match of the evening for the Pro Night. Let's go ahead and join on board. I don't know, what one of our team intel squads, Ghost, Six, or Intel, or even ESA, as we get into the first game.
I forgot that Six was on Team Intel. Team Intel's been getting the lucky draws. I'm beginning to think that Series E is honestly rigged. Let's be honest. But with Noct, think about it. Noct has played so many different legends, but Esports Arena has practiced as they have to go all the way towards that north-hand side. Now you can see how strong Valkyrie is, right? Yeah, if you're TSM, you're landing over towards the fragment side and everything's going to be A-okay because you're in the central of the map. But for a team that is landing all the way towards the bottom south side of the map, as we have our first fight, Davis Wave is going to be getting a knock there onto Petty Boss. Let's see if Team Intel's going to be able to respond.
Ooh, Mooney's got that big 108, taking out Sung and brought it down to a 1v2 now. Cody doesn't have much HP as he's trying his best to heal up, but he'll get finished off. That's going to be Absolute Monarchy getting the first +3 of the evening. So the Intel buff looks like it's going to take a little while before it actually gets patched in.
Nice execution there, and kind of a cruddy spot to go and fight for this type of POI, but that's what happens in the Pro Day. Especially when a couple of new teams get thrown into the mix, you don't really know, because we're still very new into the season, where exactly everybody's going to land. So that's going to be an interesting storyline to see if that 50-50 continues to happen, because if it does, we all know what happens in these 50-50s. Both teams are going to end up suffering. It's just not one team really stepping it up. But here it is. It's Verhulst on the Valkyrie. So that's nice. Hal is going to be playing Wraith. And hey, I think that Wraith is still good here. I think Ashe is still going to be better. And we do have Hal as one of the strongest Wraiths almost ever in all of Apex. So that makes complete sense to me. But we all know Hal can play a handful of different legends. Let's see how long it takes for them to rotate, because we know they've been pretty slow on the rotations. And we'll see now that they're playing Valkyrie if the goal is to stay out and get the scan from round 2 into round number 3. And then you can go and make your Valkyrie redeploy and your Skyward Dive to find out exactly how you want to approach the situation. But right now, it is TSM taking their sweet time looting. Typically, they would rotate way faster, so that means that they're up to something and they have a different plan.
Yeah, it might just be that, you know, they feel that they have the priority and so they can delay another 15, 20 seconds or so. Or right now, they might try to take a position, maybe an epicenter, to try and gatekeep the squads coming in from the south-end side. Team Vizio, a squad that has been popping off pro open night after open night and got the dub 2 weeks in a row. Now, like JC said during the preamble, really trying to just translate this performance here into the pro night, where really that's where your mettle is tested. And right now, though, they're in a pretty good spot. They're in the northern spot of the zone. They've got purple armors for themselves, and they're running this Loba composition. And so even though they decided to rotate early on, they'll really be able to utilize that black market boutique if they are finding any deficiencies in their economy. Scurry almost went down there as 100 Thieves make their rotation through this train tunnel. You can see they're actually just trying to get out.
I would get out too. You're going against double blue armors and a purple right there, and you saw how bad Scurry just got completely wrecked. So that was a really nice job with the burst damage coming through. And I like that positioning coming in from Team Vizio. And one thing to point out, if Vizio is winning on the open days with Loba and they're still the first team to rotate into a priority position on the pro day, that goes to show that they are capable of winning, not just, you know, in open days or pro days, but just in general. They're just a winning team, because that is a team that can get into the middle of the zone, hit scans after scans, and also get loot after loot. So that's a really good sign for them, that they're able to skirmish with a team that is typically more known for setting up in the central of the zone. And they're also going to be a team that gets into the zone very quickly. But here we go. Team Excedrin rocking the Bloodhound. So Bloodhound making the first appearance today. We'll see how that works for cruising.
Yeah, I mean, things almost went bad for Kimchi there as he was about to crest that hill and run into an entire full squad. But right now, Excedrin just retake height and force them back for the time being. A little bit slower on the rotate because they are, of course, committing to the edge. The ring pulling up to the northeast. They drop in the southwest. It is the complete opposite side of the map. And so they're going to take their sweet time moving in, as they do have that Bloodhound. So if they don't have the scan, or if they weren't able to pick up a scan somehow down in Thermal Station, they'll at least have access to one over here at Landslide. And typical of pro nights, the action has slowed down than what we were used to seeing last night during the open night, where at this point 3 teams were already gone. So it's all about positioning the teams, not taking any risks on these rotations.
Problem is, when you play Edge, you're going to be taking fights that you don't really know where the players are going to be right now. So this is a very risky play, and we'll see if Excedrin's going to be able to work with this one. Again, this is definitely a composition where you're trying to take fights. You have good loot here. You're going to be rocking the flatline R301 for Kimchi. So this is looking solid, but it's tough because all the other teams are going to be on the inside, and I'm not quite sure exactly which teams are going to play the edge here. We'll see, because right now, you know, TSM is going to be playing the edge. You know, Excedrin's going to be playing the edge. Splash looks like they're playing the edge. So right now, I think we're split between 50-50. Teams trying to get on the inside, and the other teams just waiting around looking for third parties.
Yeah, I think for Splash, like you said earlier, for a lot of these teams that don't have the priority on the rotate, they're going to try and emphasize being able to pick up a beacon and then dropping in with that Valkyrie ultimate in ring number 3, ring number 4 to get themselves into the center zone spot. Another team that has committed to the edge once again is going to be Team Ghost. They are over here at Harvester right now, moving from building to building, and they might actually run into a team. We saw Splash just outside of Harvester over at staging, but it's Razor actually in the fight. This might be Splash on the other side of this one. Ghost looking to probably come in for a third party, but that Valkyrie ultimate they hit for Flesh, unfortunately cannot get the knock, and that was so close.
Malice Mamba busting out the Pathfinder. Oh my, Draco, so low. So close to being able to get that knock. And keep in mind, if you get the Valkyrie out of the Skyward Dive, you're going to get the rest of the players just dropping out of the air. So that was very nicely done getting out of there. But Excedrin now makes their way into the zone, and that's what's scary, Jamerson. They rotated so late, they don't know exactly what's in front of them.
I thought they were going to delay a little bit more on this rotate. Shiny gets the first knock. It's Team Complexity. They drop up here on the northern side of the map, but things are turning around. Shiny picks up 2. He needs 1 more. Monsoon is the only one left now for Complexity as 100 Thieves. We saw them earlier on pushing out from that train tunnel. Now they're coming in for the third party. Complexity at least finish off Excedrin, but the third party is strong for 100 Thieves. They'll be able to pick up this loot. We knew they were in shambles, and this is exactly what they needed to really get into the game.
Team Excedrin, I'm going to say it again, out here giving teams headaches. That was just a horrible play, honestly. It doesn't get any riskier than that, and you have to realize this is the pro day. Teams are going to be set up in the backhand side. Who's going to be set up in the backhand side? Complexity. Why? Because this is where they land, and of course they're going to be locking that down. So if you're Complexity, you're scratching your head and saying, what is this? Is this amateur hour? That is just such a B-tier play, realistically. That is not what you want to see from pro players. And you got to feel for Complexity because they had a position locked down, but that's the status of Valkyrie. If you're not able to win that fight and take that fight a little bit more cleanly, then you're going to end up being viable for the third party. So you can kind of pick your poison there for Complexity. I think that they did the right thing. It's just maybe they need to win that fight a little bit faster.
Yeah, I think like I'm just waiting for the tweets to start ringing out, right? Valk squads. Anyhow, the Pittsburgh Knights, they are a Valk squad themselves. This is one of the teams fighting over the train tunnels right now, just outside of Skyhook. A decent nade coming out from Asura, forcing out the bubble early on, as not that much damage that actually been traded back, and playing footsies now as Asura is able to push up, and they've got them pinned down into the corner, and Asura is just having his way with them right now, just getting off so much damage while the rest of this team just comes in, picking off CLG. That's Fur to go down first. Vatro is next, and Nano is the only one alive, but not for long. They'll be able to finish that off. 100 Thieves now trying to get another third party right on top of them. I don't know if they are able to get the res off. It looks like at least one. For now, they are still in trouble. There it is. The first knock coming out from Onmu as Asura will fall. And it looks like 100 Thieves are just the third-party masters, really living up to their name, stealing all these kills and stealing all the loot.
That's the point of Apex. I mean, this doesn't get much easier than this for 100 Thieves, realistically. This is basically textbook for them. They come through, get that free third party there onto Complexity. Now they're picking up another one. Hardest part is killing Guild on the zipline because that was some pretty good movement, but they're A-okay. The zone is towards their back. Yes, they do need to worry about rotators coming in from behind, but that's how you do it. 100 Thieves showcasing also the value of Ashe there. That Wraith portal would have been a little bit too slow. Ashe instantly just phasing into there, and that's really, really nicely done because of the fact that they didn't allow them to heal up, and that is absolutely key. Back on board with Ghost Gaming. Winners from the previous week, Volt PK in hand. Also gold helmet for Panders. That's going to show a lot of scans for the team.
Yeah, it's Ghost versus Team Esports Arena on the other side of this fight over here at Frag West right now. You can see Ghost are just locking down their positions. Even though they're at an HP disadvantage, it's purples versus blues across the line. The Esports Arena having that advantage is the positional play coming out from Ghost that are slowing them down, and Arcstar is going to force Skittlecakes to actually pre-pop a barrel so he can heal up now. Those scans continue to come in. You can see how hesitant Esports Arena is to push in on that scan.
Yeah, Skittlecakes popped a barrel. He's sweating out here because that was a sweaty situation. And the good thing is Caustic really helps reset these situations too, because he literally just sat on 2 grenades like it wasn't going to do damage to him, and then fortunately was able to get right back into things. Duplex having a barrel, or excuse me, bubble out in this situation, and they're kind of getting bullied right now in terms of exchanging damage from Ghost Gaming side.
Yeah, Madness is doing a great job on the Wraith, doing what he needs to do, finding the angles, cutting them down, cutting them off from being able to get their own flanks right now. You can see him playing on the other side of the fence, while the rest of the squad are inside, peeking from the windows. Really no vulnerabilities in that defense right now. The scan comes out. That's good for Ghost because they might have been able to catch on to the fact that a third party might be coming in from the market side. So now, Esports Arena, they have to be careful as they're in the middle of the sandwich.
Yeah, this is risky. We're lucky enough to see the player outlines from the team that's directly behind them. But here's the thing, if you're Esports Arena, because you have Caustic, there's no way you're going to push a Bloodhound team. And if you're Bloodhound, you know, you really want to push this team because you've been exchanging damage if you're Ghost Gaming, but you don't want to push a Caustic team. And neither one of these teams needs to get third-partied. So what do you do here? Because now it's just basically a waiting game. And what are you waiting for? Possibly a bubble into a redeploy. And at this case, it becomes so risky. So both of these teams, because they wanted to rotate from this side and they had similar ideas on where to approach the circle have basically gotten into a little old Western standstill here. There's really nothing that you can do besides wait and hope that someone makes some sort of major mistake. And Skittlecakes looks like he's going to be the first person to push up.
Oh, he's on rooftop. He's trying to sneak those barrels in, and he actually is able to take the roof, cutting off one angle of escape. But there it is, the angle coming out from Madness right now. No! That's going to be someone else. Reps actually stealing away one. That's TSM coming in for that now. And you've got the knock on to Ghost as well. So the third party, we called it out a little bit earlier on in Esports Arena. It looks like they weren't able to actually get that scan. It might have been just out of the distance for it. Esports Arena are still trying to fight back. They secure the thirst on Dependers at least, but now they need to weather the storm of the third party. There comes the push from Madness as he tries to get up the stairs, but it's traded back. Wow. 6 answers with that one, and now it's down to 6 versus Skittlecakes, but the difference is that the reses are here. You can see they've got the door coverage, and it's both teams just trading reses now.
I 1000% thought after the flush, since they had the down, maybe not going to get right back on over, but it looks like they're going to respond with not getting Madness back up, or they do get Madness back up, and now they're trying to just take this fight back onto a 2-on-2. The question is, where is TSM throughout all of this? Esports Arena is going to drop Ghost Gaming. I don't see a TSM in the vicinity. That is confusing for me. Reps gets that knock. It was with the Scout, right? I think it was possibly with the Scout, so that is a long-range knock. That is really, really ballsy from Team Esports Arena, but back on board with TSM. Looks like they couldn't go in third party that because they had to worry about a fight of their own. Verholz with the shots. You can see that's why Verholz is on the team. We've switched through a handful of different players. That's already the best tracking we've seen.
That's Volt Prowler too. No one can really challenge him, and now he's going to take that rooftop control. Has to be careful though because someone is up there. Reps is about to go down. No, somehow he survives with 1 HP. Hits that bat as Verholz needs some time to reset as well. And now with Reps needing that extra few seconds to hit that med kit as well, TSM cannot push anymore. Unfortunately, despite the amount of damage that Verholz was able to put out, to at least secure this loot box coming out from Team Nerf, and we're down to 13 squads. So while things started off a little bit slow, it has definitely picked up the pace here. 100 Thieves, we saw them going from team fight to team fight, third partying it all, now sitting pretty, controlling the northern side of this zone.
100 Thieves has played this circle before. They know exactly how they want to go and approach the situation. And they're also running the composition, which I think is kind of the new meta, right? If you're looking to fight and if you're looking to, get rid of Caustic, and if we're looking at what is the strongest compositions right now, to me this is the strongest composition in the game. You could either put Ash or Caustic here, and we know exactly what has happened with the success that big boy composition has had with Valkyrie. But this is it. I mean, this is how you go and play, and you can see why. You get the high ground with Ash. You can go and redeploy. You can third party. You have basically everything except holding down buildings, and that's what Caustic really can help you in terms of being able to stop people going forward. But looks like Team Liquid does get eliminated. Oh, Vayne with the shots into the air onto Xset Kenny as well. A lot of players have already been eliminated. We're just in zone number 4 going into zone number 5.
Yeah. We saw Complexity getting third-partied earlier, but Monsoon was able to survive at the very least. So our first Tomcat rat cam of the evening. Now the big question is, where's this ring pulling? If we could pull up that map, that would be absolutely amazing. Because unfortunately, there is that HUD bug where we can't see where the ring pulls right now on the players' mini-maps. It was Absolute Monarchy who was able to take out one of our squad's team intel over at Overlook, allowing them to get priority for this rotate now into Climatizer. And with this positioning, we have to imagine that maybe this one is pulling over to the eastern side. A lot of Valkyrie teams just trying to bypass and will be able to bypass 100 Thieves here. But for the 100 Thieves, they're okay with that because they can kind of just walk in with this zone with how much control they have. And there's no control here for Oxygen whatsoever as they land right into a building. That's going to be a combination of a lot of teams coming in to try and steal that kill away, and it's Absolute Monarchy now holding down the main building over here at Climatizer.
Doesn't get much better than that if you're locking down a building there for Absolute Monarchy, and then all of a sudden a Wraith walks in with about 10 HP. It's about the most free kill you're going to get, but here was a team that's filling in for C9 tonight, Team Trash. We'll see if they could put these other kids in the dumpster over here. That's going to be Xset. That's just a team of 2. They're going to be able to flush them down pretty quickly. Nice job by Locks and Jelly, but the third party is coming in. That's going to be Rakabishu with the shots.
Ooh, he's got to be careful himself, though. A little bit vulnerable as Noble tried to take advantage of this entire situation. Reps actually steals away that kill, taking the knock onto Impulse, and now it's just Rakanishu left. You got so many squads just looking down on this fight, trying to steal away kills, and everyone is contributing a little bit, getting kill points left and right.
Pao taking so much damage. Uprise needs to portal him out in that situation. I would love to see him just hit a little mini portal, and no, it's going to be saying later, teammate. I mean, that was a great opportunity to get out of jail free with that portal, but a little bit too slow there, and TSM's going to be able to get the cleanup. Let's see what the snipe and the Kraber has in store for Vizio and Fury, as Malice is going to be cleaning up 100 Thieves. So 100 Thieves, who's having our best game so far, looks like they're going to be going out in 9th place.
Yeah, for Vizio, it's been about a lot of just passive play. They were able to get an early position. They had great armors. They continue to utilize that black market boutique to get the loadout that they want, to get these Kraber weapons, these the drop weapons here. Unfortunately for Fury, it doesn't seem like he's warmed up because he hasn't hit a shot quite yet, but he still has plenty left in the chamber for the time being. And right now, they have all of the western side of the map basically to themselves. No one to really worry about, while everyone else is kind of handling their own business. Renegade's trying to finish off, I believe, Noble down there. Rakanishu finally does go down, but it's been absolute monarchy just locking down this building for themselves. A prize will fall for that squad, and so now absolute monarchy have basically the full first floor controlled by themselves.
Ooh, interesting flank there from Stomp's. Big burst, 197. Zone really taken away right there, so you're going to have to hit a med kit. But 5 seconds until this one moves. Stomps, what are you doing? No, hit a med kit before you go back on there, you psycho.
They gotta hope. Okay. So they are able to hit that instant res, and this ring is fairly slow on this side, so they're going to be safe, and they've even got door coverage throughout all of this as well. One player dropping down, but it's the slide in from Dave Wave. It's a full 3-man on the other side of this corner now, and things are looking very scary. It's TSM on the other side of this one. Verholz getting the knock onto Stomps. Throughout all of that, you see Fury finally connecting with that Kraber, and here's the peek out from Reps, just gaining the priority position, dropping over to the wall, and there it is. They're going to be able to continue push forward.
They still have bubble, so this is pretty big. You can see the Q coming in. Oh man, that's such a unfortunate rotation there. I mean, if they all just stick together around Reps and play around bubble, that's going to be perfect. Verholz gets a little bit split up, and now the rest of the TSM kind of falling apart, and there it is. Razor going to take advantage, and Malice, I'm pretty sure he's rocking that Santa Pathfinder skin. So if I'm rooting for anyone right now, it's Malice.
It's Razor versus Vizio here in the final 3v3, but Vizio have that big HP advantage. Fury's been laying into them as the defensive bombardments have been used, but armor swaps should have been used on the other side. You can see Bursty doesn't have an armor though, as Fury goes for that shot once again. And I think committing to the plays is going to get punished. Team Razor are going to be able to secure game number 1 here in Pro Night for Series E.
You can see the smirk coming in, trying to go and hit those Kraber no scopes, the quick scopes. It really would have changed the entire course of that fight, but it's a really interesting combo when you have Kraber EVA 8, right? Especially when you're in that range where you can't really start shooting those EVA 8 shots because they'll be connecting for 6 and 8 overall. But that's a really nicely played game from a lot of our teams. I love the way that TSM played that. I love the way that 100 Thieves were playing that. Unfortunately, they weren't able to hit the rotations going forward, but a pretty rare Pathfinder win here on our Pro Day.
Yeah, really strong start for our partnered squads. Team Razor taking first place in game number 1, and Vizio taking second place there as well. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we get back, we'll have game number 2 right after this.
Versus coming daily under pressure. Working on applying the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. With the bars and the breaks, I'm talking one chance that was so good for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm fading.
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast.
Excedrin, game over for headaches.
It's fruit, refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. Now all our top stress flavored splash.
It's fruit freshen.
Welcome back, everybody. Yeso here in game one in the books. A big win there for Team Razor. They've had a bit of an up and down start to the season, but getting that win under their belt will certainly feel good. Bit of a chaotic battle there at the end, and it ended up being Razor and Vizio matching up, and Razor comes out on top. So well played, and that's certainly going to help them on our Mobile 1 leaderboard. Let's check out our first player of the game here for tonight. And obviously, it's going to be somebody from Razor, and it's going to be Malice Mamba with a huge game. 7 kills and 4 assists, along with over 2,000 damage. And I think somebody's fantasy team is going to be feeling very good about the way that that game played out. Malice with a big performance, and obviously is the big carry for this Razor squad. So at the very least, they're going to be sitting with 23 points and feeling strong at the top of that Mobile 1 leaderboard, but we'll have to see where everybody else shakes out on that one. Do want to remind you guys, talked about it a little bit last night. We still got it going on. We've got a giveaway this week, 2 Oculus 2s given away this holiday season. So if you want to get in on that, hit exclamation point giveaway in Twitch chat right now. You can get a shot to win yourself one of those. I'll remind you again later on in the night. We're going to go to a quick break, though. When we come back, we've got game number 2. Tom and Jamerson will get you ready on the other side. Going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Eat, Speak, Compete.
Eat, Speak, Compete.
Yes.
Name, incredible. Logo, even better.
I'm your host, as always, Yeso, joined by my co-host, Luke Shimoni. Brew.
There's a lot to unpack there. I don't even know where to start.
If one of the North American teams doesn't win, their 2021 season is done. I got my fingers crossed. I think you got this. Let's turn more towards the competitive side. They finished strong.
Like 35-2.
They finished strong. They looked.
If the only intent is, hey, let's make this game as esports as possible, then sure, but that's never going to be what Nintendo does.
And I'm very curious to see what kind of their first take on what a Valorant World Championship should look like.
Dang. That's super fun sounding.
Yeah, I think it's going to go.
That sounds super fun. I think that's like
Hey everyone, Yeso Claus here to wish you a very happy holidays. We here at Esports Arena are definitely getting into the spirit of the season. And it all starts off with the 12 days of Gamesmas. Kicking off on December 2nd and running all the way through December 19th, we'll have tournaments going on for a range of awesome titles, including Apex Legends, Smash Ultimate, Halo Infinite, and more. The awesome part is you can earn points throughout the entire event. Now you get points by participating in tournaments, placing high in said tournaments as well, and if you come and donate canned food or toys for Tots. We've also got some awesome Esports Arena merch bundles going on all throughout the month of December. So if you're looking for a stocking stuffer or a present for that gamer in your family, make sure to check those out and pick one up. If you need any further information about Gamesmas and what we've got going on, head over to matcherino.com/ESA today and come and spend your holidays with us here at Esports Arena.
Our partner squad starting off strong there in game number 1. It was Razor taking away with the win with a lot of kill points behind it, it seems. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile 1 leaderboard to see how many points they have after game number 1. And so that was a 12 kill game for them. And TSM, despite going down a little bit earlier, they actually have more points than Team Vizio, who only ended up getting 4 kills in that last game.
That's not that surprising, though, because of the play style that they were kind of approaching that whole thing with. But it's tough when you're not able to have a secondary weapon that you really needed in Fury's standpoint there, maybe an R301, something along those lines. Stone started to move very quickly. That was a really interesting rotation from TSM, and it reminds me of that old school TSM play where they would really mob together and push the end of the zone, but they really held the edge of the zone. They are really moving up with the very end part of the circle, while the rest of the teams are a couple of steps more forward than them. So they're able to pick apart teams, third-party teams, et cetera, et cetera. If they stuck a little bit more together, work together with reps and around his dome a little bit more, that could have been a really big game for TSM. But you start to see the thought process. I'm glad to see how nice Verhulst is playing and fitting in on Valkyrie already.
Yeah, there were a few more team fights that they were really close to taking, so this could have been a higher scoreline for them, but a strong start nonetheless for them. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One high performance moment from game number 1. And it is going to be the mad scramble coming out from TSM when they had to push out from that building. Razor were ultimately able to get the better of them, but throughout all of that, you saw TSM, even as they were moving, they were looting and they were getting kills as well, which is why they ended up scoring so high. But it was this last fight, Fury stuck on this Kraber. He had 4 shots left, just not able to connect with them though.
When the bubble's down right here, defensive bombardment is going to happen. He's missing that shot right there on to the Bloodhound, and that's really the big difference. That no scope was just for style points. You can see at that point, it's all laughs. Once you miss that first snipe, it's so difficult to go and continue to try to push right there. Even if you hit the second no scope, I don't even know if you're going to be able to do anything about it. But what a job from Team Razor, and I'm really happy to see that someone is utilizing Pathfinder. Is Pathfinder going to continue to be viable? We'll see what Malice is able to do. Keep in mind, a lot of Legends no longer have that immediate get-out-of-jail-free card, and that's exactly what Pathfinder has with that grapple. So if you can play around that, you can still get the scans, you can still have the recon, and if you have Gibraltar on your team, you can get there and still reset. So it could be something that's viable moving forward, and we'll see if they're going to be able to continue to put points on the board.
Yeah, it looks like we do have game number 2 set, and we are on to the drop ship now. So let's go ahead and join on aboard with our winners from game number 1, Team Razor. They had a 12-kill win in that last game, starting it off strong. But I think really it's a good indication for Team Vizio to be able to navigate that mid game and get that position that they wanted for that. And so if they can continue to recreate that, that's what we want to see out of them. We want to see them be able to recreate the performance from the open night here on the pro night. That was game 1. Let's see if they can do it 5 more in a row. But here's Team Razor dropping into their usual spot now over at Countdown. They already instantly dropping down to mid. We'll see if they end up walking away with those purples. Ooh, it's a gold instead, and an additional blue if they can't find anything for Malice Mamba.
Good start there for Team Razor, and there it is. Petty and Cody going down. Sung has been just such an underrated player throughout the entire ALGS and all the majority of the Apex career that he's had, but now he gets the Tomcat Rat Camp for the second time. First time it was Complexity, it was Monsoon. So apparently if you have M and O in the start of your name, look out because you're going to be a rat.
Yeah, and he is booking it as well over to that Geyser Vault Tunnel now. 100 Thieves, though, up in Skyhook in a 50-50 of their own. And it looks like it's just a line of scrimmage. Both teams kind of just fizzling on this one. Vano's going to try and poke away with the bow check bow, but looks like they're just going to get away scot-free. 100 Thieves just delayed now on their rotation and on their looting. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map in just a moment when we get an opportunity for that.
Bow check, something I never really got good with. I'm not sure about you, Jamerson. I don't know if it's my bad shoulders, my lack of patience with getting good with new weapons, but look at that zone heavily favoring where Esports Arena is going to be. And there's a handful of different endings for this one, but looking out over towards that Dome Lava City side, definitely a huge priority over towards there. And if you are over towards the south-hand side, and if you're teams like Nerf, you're going to love that easy rotation. And I love that we had a very northern zone for game number 1 and a very southern game for zone number 2.
Yeah, I think for Esports Arena, the concern might be just holding out the dome side, like you said. It's right there, basically in between, can pull either way. But more often than not, I think we see that car ending on the eastern side. And you saw the pings going down for Esports Arena as well to actually go for that. Team Splash, though, not the greatest of loot coming out from staging here. They're going to be on the whites and the blues. They weren't even able to pick up a beacon, so they're a little bit slower on their rotate as Vizio are now making their moves. They got a gold and a purple off their drop. This is a team that, utilizes this Loba to make up for the white armors that they might get on their drops, but they're already gifted some really strong starts now. As Scissors ends up turning around Fody, he's going to go ahead and keep an eye on the dome side as they want to pick up a little bit more loot, trying to find that blue force scissors there. Unfortunate that they weren't able to get it, but again, the priority rotates coming out for them. But TSM find themselves in a fight. How? Instantly pops that Q, not taking too much damage, but he leaves Reps a little bit vulnerable now as Verholz is back up himself.
Wow.
Reps goes down, and it's complexity that actually forces the issue here.
Such a small amount of HP there for Shiny, and it was just Gibraltar on Gibraltar action right there, and Reps was the first one to go on down. You can see the tether being tossed out. That's going to be another team entering the fray. That was such an early third party from Complexity.
Yeah, the third party attempt from the Knights with that EMP as well. And you can see the TSM positioning on that. They're not overextending for it. It's just a race to see who can pick up these kills onto Complexity. And right now it's the Knights hot on their tail currently. They have to be careful, though, because Complexity is still scary. It's a 3v2. You have to imagine that Gilderson's on this white can still get bursted down if they try to take this roof without proper timing on this one. But it looks like they are coordinated in their take as they force Complexity into the stairwell. Now they need to reconnect with Asura to try and take that rooftop.
Yeah, you have Complexity and I believe TSM is still alive. Yeah, and it was TSM that went back on over here because it was a Wraith that phased away. So TSM's still here, Complexity is still here. I love this portal from Guild. Get on out of there. He's also going away from where both teams are. Doesn't go into the building, just waits around the corner, hits that going forward. Keep Asura alive, get Asura inside of that drone. There goes the portal through. That's going to be Complexity. So like we said, both TSM, both Complexity here, two of our strongest teams in the lobby. And it's so tough to deal with if you're Knights. There goes the push from Monsoon. And I love seeing Monsoon off of Caustic onto Valkyrie, something that allows him to showcase his mechanical skills a little bit more. But now we're looking at a fourth and fifth party coming in.
It's 100 Thieves, of course. Really returning to the kind of playstyle that they had in the last game. They were able to just quickly push these fights, and they didn't even have to use a phase breach for that. So if they even end up getting trouble, if there's a fifth party here, they'll have an exit option. But that's what I keep talking about. When you push Complexity, you have to be worried. Even with the man advantage, things like that will happen to you as Bane gets cracked himself, but Complexity will get finished off. And now 100 Thieves have to be worried about the other teams that were still involved in this fight. There wasn't complete wipes, I believe, on the TSM side, but looks like they will be able to recover, and they'll get Scurry back onto his feet for now. And it looks like TSM, they're done with the third party. They're actually right back into the thick of things.
So smart from Bane to fall back there, and also to, look out for the nade. Nice map movement there. But Vayne understands the most logical way for my teammate to die is for a player to clamber up through the windows and try to shoot through the windows. So that's the angle that Vayne covered. And that's just heads up play, predicting the level of play that these players are at. A lot of other players will be looking at the stairs, et cetera, et cetera. That was perfect prediction coming in from Vayne. And I'm impressed by a handful of teams so far. I'm impressed by Team Razor. I'm impressed by AM that's come out swinging. 100 Thieves has been playing really well, but I also really like just Vizio's thought process in terms of getting into the zone, letting all this other crazy action unfold, and they're going to just continue to use that black market boutique to get loot inside of the center zone, which allows you to learn a lot, right? I think that that composition allows you to see, okay, this is, what we're capable of doing. And the high, ceiling that composition has is a lot more for them to work with. So I'm really excited to see what Team Vizio is able to do for the rest of the day. But not only that, as a team with this composition for days to come.
Absolute Monarchy were able to get the kill onto Imperial Hal as TSM were trying to retreat there. So now Absolute Monarchy, they have 3 kills to their name. We'll see if they can hunt down any more. This composition, they're okay with sticking on the edges. They don't want to push into Lava City a little bit too early on. They can always utilize that Valkyrie if they need to move into position themselves. But for the time being, it looks like most of Geyser is going to be free. We have 17 squads left as round 1 finishes closing. You can see, yeah, it is going straight down there. We'll have a good idea of where the next ring will be pulling. But yeah, look at that. Almost 3/4 of the lobby have found themselves inside Dome right now. Everyone's expecting that. Every building is actually unoccupied in Lava City. No one is taking that risk of it pulling away from Lava City with this kind of zone. Team Vizio, though, are going to be playing inside the vault. I don't know, somehow Ghost, who ends up taking this position on the cars outside on the eastern side of Dome.
I like this position. I think that anytime that you're able to keep your back safe, it's always really good and keep all the action in front of you. With the Bloodhound scans, you're to be able to really bully teams into positions and playing a little bit more passive than you would normally see, sharing a little bit of utility going forward to some cells, and Madness even using the Q to get back. And that's just presence and respect for the rest of the lobby too, because they understand, hey, I don't want to take any free damage here. We're already running low on cells and batteries. We're going to have to be here for quite some time. So they're going to kind of AFK in the back, not really show much presence, and hope to collapse on any potential third parties that present themselves. And this could be one right here. Esports Arena finding themselves in a little bit of scuffle. They are locking down the backside of Dome, anticipating that it's going to continue to pull over here.
Oxygen do end up getting cleaned up, though. That's Splash picking up those kills. Dracos could use a armor swap, but unfortunately for him, all the death boxes are outside. So once Phoenix has his bubble, and they should turn around to try and get him something, but they spot out a team who've already used their bubble early on. Now they just want to make sure they get this damage off. Dracos is only 70 damage off, and unfortunately he's not connecting with these shots to get that evil shield for himself, and that actually allows the team into a building now. So Nestle Splash missing out on an opportunity there, but they're still happy now. They've got 2 kill points to their names. They're almost in the top 15, and they're in a pretty decent spot. If this ring continues pulling down here, we haven't seen the scan quite yet, so we should take a look at the ring in a moment if we have that opportunity.
3x Rampage here for Blight. The only problem that I see is Dracos in the armor situation. So if I'm Phoenix, what I'm doing is passing my blue armor on over to Dracos. I'm taking the gray armor here, and I'm gonna continue to just charge that up, because it's a lot easier to poke with that free Gibraltar shield than it is for Dracos to continue to just poke with this Valkyrie, right? So yes, you're only 70 damage away, but at the same time, that would be a really nice thing for Splash to have, is 3 blue armors, because you don't want to get full sent on just because of your armor situation.
Yeah, Team Liquid definitely sitting pretty with their armor as well. And, oh, man, they're not running it. They're not running it. They're going standard. They've got the big boys here. I am disappointed. Brandon, we're going to have a talk, as Absolute Monarchy are able to get a knock and the Thirst onto 6. You can see Renegades trying to patrol that southern side. And the teams that might have considered this one pulling over to launch site are going to be incorrect on this one. As you can see, just on the corner of that map, it is going on over to the east, so it's going to be a Dome ending at the very least. But Renegades, they're doing a decent job of keeping the team controlled to the south, but they have to be worried. The team has just dropped there on to their eastern door. Now they have to deal with that. Team Liquid keeping an eye on it. You got to imagine Nocturnal might want to try and get involved in this.
Nocturnal has so many cells, they could really take any fight that they wanted to. Meanwhile, CLG getting dropped right there by Renegades. Rise has been playing out of his mind right there, picking up some more kills, picking up the kill lead as well. I'm pretty sure he had a couple pop-off moments in the previous game. Just look at the oopsie daisy, the head bob, the little shimmy yaw, shimmy yay, getting back on over towards his teammates.
Yeah, he's got that boxing movement there, right? Like, you're never gonna touch me, never gonna touch me. Absolute Monarchy. We saw earlier that they were able to get that first knock and the kill onto 6, and now they're picking apart the rest of Ghost here, pushing the eastern side of the zone. Currently, nice scan out that allows Stomps to really predict a lot of these shots, but with Stomps and Sung being low, Davis Wave needs to buy some time for him. He does take that high ground angle and actually forces the team back as they go ahead and retreat back into the Dome now. They have to be worried, though. You can see the squads are keeping an eye on them through the door, but Absolute Monarchy should be in a pretty decent spot. We don't know exactly where this next ring is going quite yet, but they are still sticking around here because they want to pick up this last kill onto Madness.
Madness has been a little one-man army on over here, too. Been playing pretty impressive inside of this blue truck. But Song gets that red Evo armor charged up. That's going to be extremely viable for the rest of these fights. And there are a lot of teams. So remember, there's so many teams over towards Lava City that were predicting that zone. This is what happens, though. All the teams that go from Lava City have to move up over towards the hill And then that's going to present just a firing squad for all the teams that have been sitting on over towards Dome. So we'll find out which team is going to be the king of the hill eventually here in the next zone or two.
Wait, I'm confused. Did I miss it on the kill feed? Where did Madness go? It looked like he poured it out of there. They were trying to make that push, and you can see the respect for Madness. There we go. He gets taken out. That's going to be Team Eclectic picking it up on to the final Ghost member. As they had the God spot, but the absolute madness, or excuse me, absolute monarchy. I think they're finally doing what I expected them to, right? And they're showing a little less respect. They're kind of valuing more of their team fight prowess and actually taking these ego fights up against some of these squads. And that's something that I think was sorely missing from them. They're taking these fights now. They're feeling a little bit more comfortable in being able to take these 3v3s. And so far tonight, it has been working out for them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And if you're able to take the fights in this type of lobby, you can take fights basically anywhere. So this is huge. And this is the type of play that you would love to see from these teams that aren't on top organizations. I mean, we've seen what Sung's been able to do in the past. It's been a while since we've seen him with a team that's been successful. So this has been a roster that's had some growing pains over here. It's definitely an interesting composition. We've seen so many different compositions today. We've seen Lobas, we've seen Cryptos, Bloodhounds, Ash, Valkyrie, Gibraltar. We've seen Pathfinder, and now we get another bubble fight over here. But this is an important one because you can see Veda's already taken a handful of damage. It's going to be Malice going down first. That's going to be Team Razor, who won game number 1. It looks like 100 Thieves has their number if Amu can finish this off.
Amu does, but now he finds himself in the sights of the third party. The tables have been turned onto them as Renegades are trying to make sure that the reses do not happen. They're going to secure these kills on the ground, maybe, as Pal actually takes a lot of damage there. Price, where are all your nades? It looks like he threw them all in the last game onto Team Liquid. It's Vizio playing out of this tunnel right now that might actually be able to steal these kills. The nades are coming in, and that's going to be fine for them because they do have that Loba, that black market boutique. Even if that ends up outside of the zone, they'll be able to utilize that to pick up the loot. That's one of the other strengths that we don't really talk about, right? She has access to loot that most teams won't when it comes to rings 4, 5, and 6. So Team Vizio, once again, taking a very passive position, but they're still doing damage. They're still getting value in every point of the game.
And now they're trying to finish off Onmu, who I believe is the last rat there for 100 Thieves. Keep in mind, I think it's Renegades over on the hill, over towards their south-hand side. And that's going to be Onmu doing such a good job. I mean, he was laying down cover fire to try to keep his teammates alive over towards the side. He somehow avoids getting killed throughout all of that, too, when he's pinched between 6 different players. And now he's avoided Renegades, who finds themselves in another fight.
Yeah. Renegades cleaning up Team Excedrin. We're now down to 12 squads, 32 players remaining here in game number 2, as we have 30 seconds left to go before the ring starts closing in. So Renegades, with that cleanup, open up the western side for themselves. We're still not sure where this ring is pulling, but the fact that everyone is still in the dome pretty much indicates that it is going to be over at Dome. So I guess we don't need that ring. Mooney is actually still alive from Team Intel. Remember, he was ratting this out from the beginning of the game. He hit top 12 at the very least. So he gets himself that point, or at least gets his squad that point as he tries to creep up from the Lava City side right now. As Team Esports Arena making their push onto Eclectic. They got the first knock, and Dracos is going to help them out there, securing that thirst for them. So now Esports Arena, they've got this building to themselves. They've got it on lockdown with their caustic composition. This is a very strong spot for them to play.
And a majority of the time, if the zone continues to pull on Dome's side, this is the building that you're going to want to go and lock down. There's a handful of different Dome endings. We'll find out exactly which one that is going to be. Sometimes you'll have an ending that has a little bit of the lava inside of Dome too, so it makes things a little bit more difficult. And you have to start hopping on these random rocks that are inside, and it gets really, really interesting really fast. And then a lot of teams are going to play on the outside of the eggshells too, very similar to what Vizio is trying to do right now.
They are getting poked out a bit, and here comes some nades. If Phony might have to throw down that bubble blue. You can see the patience coming out for them right now, but Fury needs to pull out his gun, but instead he's just spamming those nades. Phony gets the knock onto Lucas, as they actually end up taking a port over here into the cover. And so nice utilization of someone else's port, actually get themselves on the other side of that dome.
They had no idea what was on the opposite side of that portal. They just ended up taking it, and it worked out phenomenally. Thanks to whoever dropped that one, because you can see there is no Wraith on this team. And sometimes when you take a portal, more often than not, there's going to be some caustic barrels on the other side. So if it was EU, I was expecting maybe all 6 barrels to be on the opposite side of that portal. But now we're back on board with a prize who's had one heck of a game so far. We'll find out if they have a rampage to try to... Ooh, a little trigger discipline there. Thing is, even if you get that knock, it doesn't matter, right? You're 10 away from being able to charge this to a red Evo shield. That's the only thing you're really looking for. With 5 bullets left, you want kill potential. That knock really wouldn't have meant anything, so I agree not even shooting that shot.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this was actually Renegades' portal that they utilized in that fight, because you can see it was at 30%. The port is gone as well for Team Esports Arena, still sitting pretty here on the southern side. And they're actually on the slow side. You can see a lot of teams now focusing their spot over on the northern side here. So the ring might be pulling there again. We don't have it on the mini map, unfortunately, so it's really hard to call. We're just trying to use basically context here to figure that one out. As Team Liquid, ooh, Nocturnal almost going down there, but he is able to slide down for himself. Fun still has the bubble as well if they need to use it. They might actually have to throw it down. Nocturnal needs to heal. There it is. And Flanker as well, hitting that bad. And they're just going to go ahead and use this redeploy to actually get on top of the eggshell here and avoid a lot of this fighting now. They should have the northern side open for themselves, and it looks like the eggshell, the roof, is going to be completely free for them as the ring finishes closing. We've got 15 seconds left, and now we have Team Nerf going down to a combination of 100 Thieves and Scissors there for Team Vizio.
Love this positioning here for Renegades, sitting on the top and just shooting down as Amu's picking up a handful of different kills. That's Team Liquid going out in 9th place. Team Liquid was in such a tough spot right there as Amu's going to take that kill lead away from prize. And what a job so far from these two players. I mean, Amu, I don't know how he was able to do all of that. Amu was a solo originally. Keep in mind, he lost 2 players earlier, and I don't know if he's doing this by himself or he got the reses. What a phenomenal job by 100 Thieves. It was. Amu was just a solo, and he picked up 3 kills.
That's ultimate value for himself, but Renegades now trying to finish off this squad that was playing underneath them on the yellow tankers. They do have the man advantage, and that will be Splash going down. Now, do they have a mobile respawn beacon? They do. They have just enough time to get him right back in before this ring starts closing. 15 seconds left, but they need to do it right now here in zone number 6. The black market boutique being used. Every armor getting pulled out of there, making sure no one has the armor swaps.
Look at these vultures
at this point. Yeah.
Look at this, that was like Thanksgiving, you know, for my family right there. It's just everybody just not even taking turns, everybody bumping into each other, like a bunch of savages, man.
Then you still have like the green bean and like leftovers there, but it's Team Esports Arena who were able to actually move out of their building, and now they have all the middle platform controlled. Duplex gets the knock onto a prize, and that would have been the big difference maker. Remember, he was the one that had the Kraber in hand, the biggest threat on that side. Now Team Esports Arena being able to move for this position early on, are picking up these kills, doing so much damage. Renegades on their last leg, pow, will go down now, and Esports Arena have full control with a beautiful arc for this final circle.
Very nicely done from Esports Arena. Again, just pay attention how they own real estate, keep all the action directly in front of them. Big defensive bombardment coming in from Duplex. You can see another defensive bombardment lands directly above their head too. Now it's time for Skittle Cakes to get back in over towards the dome though, and that's the mistake that we saw TSM make in the previous game. Going a little bit too far away from the Gibraltar. Right now, Duplex is the glue of this team. They need to play around his utility that comes back up in 30 seconds.
It's X set on the other side of this fight, and they actually steal that kill away onto Vaxlon. So now it's the final 3v3. The barrels are down here for Esports Arena, and they're going to try and pre-pop those. Clayne's actually caught out by himself. Might have to hit that Q, but he actually just moves around the barrel, ultimately goes down. Esports Arena are damaged, though. Duplex and Knocked are cracked, but it's enough for them as they will take the win here. Team Esports Arena taking game number 2 of the evening.
And what seems to be a good flank coming in, I believe, for Clayne ends up just being disastrous. And that's what happens in these type of high-level, high IQ lobbies where it's like, okay, I'm coming around and I'm going to hit a big flank. But the enemy team goes, hey, this guy's by himself now. Everybody focus that guy. Let's worry about the other 2 players later. That's more than enough space for Esports Arena to go and win that game.
And you called it as well earlier on, Tom, when you said when we have these dome zones, you have to be careful about where the ring is positioned with the lava there. You saw Xset had very few options in moving up, and Esports Arena were able to take advantage of that, just funneling them into that one lane and taking them apart. Great win for them. We're going to go ahead and take a short break, but when we get back, we'll have game number 3 right after this.
Xset gets into the late game there, but they can't take down Team Esports Arena, who grabbed the victory there in game number 2. If I'm being honest, I'm not a big fan of dome circles because it just ends up with a lot of people jumping into a building and taking pot shots for 80% of the game, but it does give us, at the very least, some chaotic action in those final circles, and the team that jumps out of that chaos is Esports Arena. So well played from them here as they get the win in game number 2. Let's check out our next player of the game here on the day. We'll have to see who comes out of the fray after our next game. But it's going to go to Duplex this time around. The IGL for Team Esports Arena continues to perform. 4 kills, no assists this time around, and just south of 1,400 damage. I would imagine this isn't going to be a super high point game for Team Esports Arena. They spent a lot of time just kind of chilling, like I said, down there in Dome, waiting for the late circles, but at the very least 16 points there is going to make them feel really good. And they had a solid showing in game number 1, so they're definitely going to be up in the conversation near the top of our Mobile 1 leaderboard as we get ready for game 3. Do want to remind you guys that we are open all across the country right now, and if you want to see if there's an Esports Arena near you, use exclamation point locations in Twitch chat right now. We would love to see you and game with you this holiday season. That's going to do it here for this break. We're going to a quick commercial, but when we come back, game number 3 as we close out the first half here on Pro Night. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Eat, Speak, Compete.
Eat, Speak, Compete.
Yes.
Name, incredible. Logo, even better.
I'm your host, as always, Yeso, joined by my co-host, Luke Shimoni. Brew.
There's a lot to unpack there. I don't even know where to start.
If one of the North American teams doesn't win, their 2021 season is done. I got my fingers crossed. I think you got this. Let's turn more towards the competitive side. They finished strong.
Like 35-2.
They finished strong. They looked.
If the only intent is, hey, let's make this game as esports as possible, then sure, but that's never going to be what Nintendo does.
And I'm very curious to see what kind of their first take on what a Valorant World Championship should look like.
Dang. That's super fun sounding.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
That sounds super fun. I think that, like,
What's your favorite smash? It's very refreshing.
One shot, now the future for sure. Versus coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. With the bars and the breaks, I'm talking one chance at the soul. Go for the goal. It's one shot. Now the future is yours. Go.
everyone, Yeso Claus here to wish you a very happy holidays. We here at Esports Arena are definitely getting into the spirit of the season. And it all starts off with the 12 days of Gamesmas. Kicking off on December 2nd and running all the way through December 19th, we'll have tournaments going on for a range of awesome titles, including Apex Legends, Smash Ultimate, Halo Infinite, and more. The awesome part is you can earn points throughout the entire event. Now you get points by participating in tournaments, placing high in said tournaments as well, and if you come and donate canned food or Toys for Tots. We've also got some awesome Esports Arena merch bundles going on all throughout the month of December. So if you're looking for a stocking stuffer or a present for that gamer in your family, make sure to check those out and pick one up. If you need any further information about Gamesmas and what we've got going on, head over to matcherino.com/ESA today and come and spend your holidays with us here at Esports Arena.
All right, welcome back, guys, to Series E. We had Team Esports Arena taking the win there in game number 2. And, you know, despite not seeing too many assists, I think from their position, they might have actually picked up a lot more kills than we're expecting, because we saw them holding down a building and having multiple angles to try and third-party fights from. And so we'll see if they were able to pick up a lot of points. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile 1 leaderboard to see how many they ended up with. And, oh, maybe it wasn't a high-scoring game at all. They now are in second place. It was Renegades who end up in first place after all is said and done.
Pretty fun leaderboard, and I think this is spot on based on the performances that we've seen from all these players. I think that they've been rewarded their points very nicely. And when you look at teams like TSM, who had a really good game number 1, unfortunately weren't able to get things going in game number 2. AM's been playing out of their mind so far. They've been getting really nice 50-50s to start, and they've been using that to kind of snowball. Vizio with the Loba getting inside the center zone. Everybody really playing their play style right now, and they're starting to showcase how they want to go and approach these situations. Everybody having a different idea on how they want to play this.
Yeah, and I'm still wondering what happened in Fragment that, you know, Complexity and TSM were hanging out there, and like 3-4 other squads end up showing 100 Thieves being one of them as well. But before we can answer that, let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile 1 high performance moment from game number 2. And it's going to be the finish here. And you were talking about it, that lava just makes it so constrained in how the fights work out. And then they realize they have one player isolated and they just full send it onto Clane.
And that's the timing there, because there's only so many angles that you could take. Meanwhile, Esports Arena has about 6 to 8 angles that they could go and take. You only have about 2 to 3 angles that you could take from the XSET side, maybe even less, right? Maybe only 2 angles, and that's exactly what was showcased right there as we take a look at the map overhead and the players flying in. Game number 3 underway. After this, we'll have a short little halftime break and get into the rest of the games, but it's been a pretty interesting day so far, and we've seen a lot of different compositions and a lot of different play styles.
Knocked just short of that drop, but hey, he's got the recovery. He's on that Valkyrie, and we have a look at our first scan coming in, and yeah, it's going to be an overlook zone. And the action is going to start pretty early because that 50-50 is taking place once again. Team Intel versus Absolute Monarchy, and it's gone towards Absolute Monarchy's side.
Spot.
2 games in a row. Yeah, it is for the game-winning spot.
Because the zone most likely is going to end directly where these two teams are fighting too. So this means so much more than the actual 3 points that are on board for the kills. So far, Intel has not been able to get anything going, but that purple armor is going to really help.
Yeah, they're already starting the retreat on the Absolute Monarchy side, and they got the knock onto Stomp. So finally, they turned things around here in game number 3. They haven't been able to get any points on the board because of the last 2 games. Now they force them back. Now, 2 members of Absolute Monarchy are still alive, though, as it looks like they have taken that train exit as well. And I wonder if Team Intel want to just maybe just send a message and keep full sending it after them. But it looks like someone called them back, you know, reined in their dogs. They're like, no. Let's go ahead and start playing our game here because the ring could be pulling, unfortunately for them. Oh, wait, never mind. There we go. As we get a better look at the minimap, they do have that beacon to actually scan. And so they will be able to realize the ring is pulling this way.
I can't tell what Cody's doing, if he's shaking his head like, no, let's not chase, or no, I don't want these guys to get away. The way that they're positioned, they're setting up for an ambush. I'd be pissed after getting 50-50 2 games in a row and not having any points. I'd be looking for blood. I think that's the right play. Keep in mind, though, Complexity did an extremely early rotation into Fragment before. They need to be worried that Complexity could start coming their way here in the next 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah, for Team Intel, it seems like maybe they're just trying to banner camp and make sure that there's no way back in for Absolute Monarchy. Vizio showing up, and you can see they've highly prioritized their rotates. And it's almost like TSM from a year and a half ago, where they would sacrifice better armors and they would rotate in with the white armors here. The difference is that they are running the Loba, so they can make up for that deficiency without having to utilize a lot of their economy. Right? They can utilize that black market boutique to pick up extra ammo or to just steal away armors itself. So there are multiple ways they can find themselves and bounce back in. Typically with this ring, this is the position they like to play out of. It's very safe for them. They can get free black market boutiques without exposing themselves. Here's another squad coming in for an early rotate. It's going to be Oxygen showing an up. Now, air at Overlook.
They're going to be coexisting with a team here, and that may mean they need to get into the blue trailers, which is completely okay. I mean, it's not the most ideal situation. You're a little bit more exposed out here. They wanted to get right to that building that was the Dorito building across from them, but there is an ending directly where they're at. So this isn't that bad of a spot overall to go and hold. It would be interesting to see if Protectful and OXG are interested in holding down both spots with all of their barrels, though, and that could be the opportunity to go and have a little bit more real estate. Getting up over towards the sniper post would be absolute suicide this early.
EMP being used basically over by where we saw Team Intel holding just at sewer manhole. And I'm wondering exactly what's going on. It looks like Vizio is actually getting pushed here. And now they're getting punished for those white armors. It's going to be the Knights picking up those kills. You can see how much of a deficit you put yourself at when you try to go for those early rotates with the whites. They weren't able to get the exact position they really wanted to. Pittsburgh Knights able to take advantage of that. Team Intel, though, having to hold off this building. Now they do have some decent damage going across. A nade sneaking in through that window as well. And Petty Boss is trying to time it. He's not going for that peak quite yet. And so Team Intel not really liking their advantage as they've lost out on roof, and now they have to be a bit on their toes as they back away. Cody, though, still keeping other teams at bay. He's got that high ground with the longbow, and really this is a strong position for them to hold. I kind of want to see them try to hold over at that circle building in the back where the beacon is, because they'll be able to kind of control that.
Yeah, you can just continue to bubble scan and find out information. And if you're locking that down, you're most likely still going to have access to the jungle gym and the yellow giant, I don't even know what to call those, yellow tanks, basically, that you can see Cody playing off of. But Exa is really interested in continuing to poke and prod. Here's the thing, though. We're already in zone number 1 closing, and you're looking at having 4 cells. So that is not an ideal situation. When we talk about peeking and trying to get these Evo armors charged up, there's not much opportunity for Clarify to continue to do so.
Now, they do have Klane, of course, on that Loba, but for the simple fact that this is where teams have already dropped, there aren't too many loot boxes here, they might not be able to get that value out of that black market boutiques. So that point about the cells is going to be super poignant, and we'll see, though, if they are able to pick up some extra economy at the very least for themselves. Klane definitely needs it, but there haven't been enough deaths here, so they might have to rely upon a third or fourth black market boutique to really try and stabilize in this position. But, you know, for a squad like Xset, who heavily prioritizes the macro and getting into center zone early on, I like this adjustment that we've been seeing out of them, going for that Loba, because it does make up for the deficiencies, basically, that comes with playing center zone so early on.
And they've been so annoying over towards the side. Meanwhile, Song gets knocked and dropped there by Renegades, who has started to push in, and now they're going to own the jungle gym. So we've seen a couple different spots that are being held, but this is probably the most popular overlook zone. It doesn't look like it will continue to pull over here, but we've seen tons of endings directly on this jungle gym, and it is probably the most common overlook ending that we have. The blue trailers, exactly where OXG was, is another really popular ending, and then it could pull a little bit more over towards that epicenter hillside, maybe over towards the mountains and the train tracks if the game feels like throwing these players a curveball.
This is such a scary spot for Renegades to be playing. And yes, you know, a lot of teams are expecting a hard pull over, and it is a very typical circle for themselves, but getting here early on, you can see how much their economy is being used up, and so they no longer want to actually play for that position. They're getting shot by Xset. They have a team underneath them, and they have a team above them as well, and so now they're just going to try and take the second floor here. Good scouting out from them. They were able to spot out that the second floor was free, and so that port call was made. A prize gets his squad into a much safer building now. They will also actually have a little bit of a longer reach for the next black market boutique as well. Oh, excuse me, never mind. I don't know why. I was just seeing Lobas everywhere, but there's only really two in the lobby. Yeah.
I know, right? Meanwhile, Nerf, we haven't even had an opportunity to get on board with them. They're big chilling over towards the backhand side. Looks like they're going to be A-okay over here for a little bit. I like this positioning coming in from Messiah. But we've seen how many teams are over here. This is getting absolutely crazy. I think Yeso may not like overlook zones either, because it's kind of the same thing as these dome zones. A lot of teams just sitting and waiting. I want to find out what Yeso's favorite end zones are. He seems like a man that chooses violence every single day.
Oh, man. And, you know, this is a ring zone that can have a lot of violence, but it typically comes at around like ring number 3, ring number 4, when teams have to make that rotate out of no name. But we're seeing that we have maybe like 9 teams, half the lobby already here in Overlook. Everyone understanding that kind of decision you have to make, right? It's much easier to rotate out of Overlook instead of into Overlook, and so they prioritize that for now. Razor, though, just playing on the edge absolutely over here at Epicenter. They do actually have a squad underneath them, and Malice Mamba might be on his ones over there, but he's going to be fine. It's very difficult to try and push that position on top of the post there in the middle of Epicenter. So right now it's Team Razor trying to choke out whatever squad is on the other side of this one. Gotta imagine that they're probably waiting for Dreza to get that beast of the hunt, but that squad is not going to want to deal with him at all. They're going to take to the skies, and the shot's not quite connecting, but Bursty still at least getting some damage off for his Evo shield, still on that blue for himself, as the rotates are being made now.
Team Trash with a knock onto Monsoon from Complexity. New addition here to the Pro Day. Thanks for filling in, Team Trash. They do get knocked, though, on the other side. That's going to be Nuke Team, and the portal is set. So Jelly with one knock. Nuke Team gets knocked on the other side, and a little reset happening over here. You can see the approach. A lot of teams that aren't in, like you said, are going to be playing this hard edge. One of those teams is going to be Ghost Gaming. We haven't even really seen what TSM's been up to, too, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, they have one of the highest priorities for an Overlook zone. They can show up extremely fast coming from Fragment East there. Right now, it's Ghost. 6 actually getting poked down and is forced back, and that's really unfortunate. He was 13 damage away, just really one shot from being able to get full value off of that bat. And so it's just a minor thing, but that is something that kind of annoys a lot of the players, right, when they're not able to get the full value off that bat. So right now you can see all the positions being held. That position earlier on where Oxygen were, there they are. It was the squad, it was Complexity that actually cut them off. And so they're the ones that have a bit of a better position. There it is, TSM. They have the big garage building to themselves.
Here comes a play from Esports Arena. Are they moving in into a spot that was already taken? No, okay, remember, we got a rotation outside of the spot because the block was hot. You can see why they got out of dodge. Esports Arena now having to bubble. Got here a little bit too early for their own good. Now they're going to have to survive as long as possible over here, in between at least 3 or 4 teams.
I mean, you have to give it to them. They were able to navigate that drop, right, and find a free zone. But like you said, there's a reason why it was free. I mean, that you're really vulnerable. A lot of points that you have to look out for. And at any point, that team can just walk up the stairs from below you and just full 3-man peek you. And it doesn't really seem like anyone's keeping an eye on the stairs yet as well. So they have to be careful of that the entire time. But here's round 2 closing. And this is one of the slower games that we've had so far. Only 2 teams have gone down across the last 2 rounds. As we head into round number 3, if we can join on board with the team, we have a crypto team that's in the area. So they can hit that drone scan onto that beacon just north of our squad right now.
This game's slow. I freaking ate a 5-course meal during the first 2 zones. They're all casting. So, I mean, this is about as slow as it gets. 18 squads into zone number 3. Teams just stacked on top of one another. Once we get an idea of where this map is, if we could see that, that'd be huge. We want to get a feel for where zone number 4 is going to be, and then we could tell the story of what these players have to do. But this is a risky play from Duplex. What an insane, psychotic play.
Wow, I cannot believe he got away with that for free. I thought he was going to go down. I thought it was going to be the bubble immediately. But we have a look at the ring right now. No one's been able to pick up the scan, unfortunately, quite yet. We have plenty of black market boutiques going down over there, though, as you can see now how much value they're able to get off of that. But it's very few teams playing on the edges, and there seems to be a few rats there. You can see... I believe that might be the last member of quite possibly Absolute Monarchy that are over there at No Name, and 100 Thieves haven't been able to spot him out quite yet. But Esports Arena, they were able to get into this position, sneak on in. They are getting contested for it.
Looks like Xset is going to combine with TSM to drop Team Liquid. Meanwhile, OXG with the Prowler is going to find reps on over towards the side. The flush goes in, Ghost Gaming getting knocked as well. When we look at this zone and the way that it's pulling back over towards the donut means it's going to end in between the donut and the closest building away from the donut, excuse me, which is going to almost be where the silver stairs are, leading up to that ramp right there. That's going to be this ending. So when we're looking at priority positions right now, Esports Arena has found themselves in another god spot.
Yeah, somehow they got away with that. It was very risky, but it did pay off for them. For the Renegades, though, they will be able to get POW back into this quick armor swap as well, but nades are starting to come in. You can see why. Being able to drop that armor for your down mate or your resuscitated teammate is super important because they are so vulnerable when you don't have that gold back for themselves. But they're still in a pretty decent spot. This building should be in for all intents and purposes for the next ring, as round 3 is closing right now with 30 seconds left to go. And unfortunately, you can see the loot just getting yoinked out of the boxes from Team Renegades there. And that's why you got to be careful with the Lobas in the lobby. As much as you want to have like some loot on the ground and stuff like that, especially armor swaps, you can't have the armors on the ground because the Lobas will just go ahead and yoink those.
They are in a great position, though. Like you called, this building will be in for the next zone. And this is the closest building to the donut. So you see where Xset is. That in between that and the donut is more than likely where this zone is going to end. So I'm excited to see what happens for all these teams like OXG, Complexity. You can see Locks and their team, Team Trash over there holding off Team Ghost, who's on the low ground. Team Ghost trying to make their way in. That's going to be fun to go and see. Keep in mind that they are rocking Gibraltar, Wraith, and Bloodhound. So if they're going to make any play, it's going to have to be a portal play. Razors on the outside looking in. All these teams have to pass where TSM is. TSM is most likely going to be the only team that is the last team in with a building besides the teams that are already on that side towards the donut area.
is this a hard pull away? Esports Arena actually used that Valkyrie redeploy now to go over to the northern side. And so it looks like it is a hard pull. There's no other reason why they would have done this unless they were getting somehow full scent. But I don't think you take that risk, right? Because in that position, you would have to bubble and then use the Valkyrie redeploy. So it has to be a call on this. But now they've got nades dropping down on them left and right. And somehow they get their bats off in time, but not Skittle Cakes. He will fall to the defensive bombardment of Ghost. And now Ghost smell blood in the water. They want to take advantage of this, especially if it's Esports Arena. They don't have the ring information for themselves. And so they know that ESA is here. This is the God spot. They connect, but it's not the knock. It's going to be knocked taking down. It's still the man advantage as Ghost will be able to clean them up. And now it's Ghost maintaining position here on the northern side with the quick res onto Madness.
And even not using the bubble there, that's some good restraint, because now they have the bubble for this fight if they really want to go and use that one. Big 66 damage. There's also nades being tossed up. Nice collapse there from Trash as you see Knights gets eliminated by Team Noble inside of your kill feed. But what a fight there, and great aggression from Madness, having faith in his teammates that even if he goes and pushes up and gets knocked right here, they're still going to have enough damage and enough presence to go and be able to win that fight.
Unfortunately for Ghost, they weren't able to recover this loot, and Nuke Team, you can see he was popping the ultimate excels the entire time. We are now down to 10 full squads remaining here for the round 4, closing as Nerf are trying to fight for their life, pushing out from underneath as Noble make their redeploy on top of the sniper post and get in there just in time, not taking too much damage. And now it's going to be a big question about which teams are going to be able to make this one out alive. We have so many teams stacked on top of each other, but here's Eclectic now, or Team Trash, making their push onto Ghost. They get the first knock. That's 6 falling here as Lox takes a lot of damage, but this is resoundingly going the way of Team Trash as they pick up the rest of the kills. It looks like Madness will be left to rat this one out once again for this squad. We'll see how long he can survive for as the Ghost members end up getting cleaned up now. As Noble, with this sniper post position, they have a decent line of sight on a lot of the squads around them. They're trying to get involved in these fights. You can see there are multiple teams inside that garage building right now. I gotta imagine TSM still inside. Rakanishu has to be careful dropping down like that.
What a psycho. I'm not quite sure what Rakanishu is on right now, but he is on one, that's for sure. As Madness gets eliminated by enemy. And I was like, Rakanishu, are you about to go and try to 1v3 TSM inside of a building? I don't know if that is a play. TSM all turtled inside here, but Team Trash looking solid so far. They've been looking like they are going to be a team to be reckoned with. The shots have been looking good. The bubble fights have been looking smooth. Lox with some really good tracking, and now he's trying to find this last Valkyrie player.
Valkyrie players, really, they're just a different breed. Look at that. Lox able to track him down ultimately there, and this is 2 pretty good team fights in a row. It's only Jelly going down up against Team Excedra. Now we're down to 7 squads. Madness was ultimately cleaned up, and so no rats here. We have, I believe, 1 team currently as a duo. Don't know exactly which one that is. Team Nerf finding themselves here on the south side of the zone. The nade spams coming in just as they use their bubble, and that's such an inopportune time. The ring is closing in, and they will not have the bubble for this rotate. So this is going to be a risky one as Oxygen trying to make the push now into the middle of the zone. That's going to be X-Set on the other side of this fight as Klein is the first one to fall. Oxygen have taken a lot of damage, but Hambino stays up, and that's X-Set getting cleaned up. Quick armor swaps for them as well, as they know they need to scramble now. The Southern rotates coming in, and they want to pick up those kill points.
And I like that Cubsky got off Crypto and switched on over to something a little bit more viable like Valkyrie. Not like Crypto wasn't viable, but the way that they were playing it, and I think they had Valkyrie Crypto, which doesn't really make sense, right? Because now you're looking at one of your passives being already used in terms of 2 players that have recon, and they're able to scan, but Noble is being taken out. Team Trash is just looking solid right now. Jelly with the kill lead, whoever thunk it.
And he actually got the kill onto Rakanishu as well with this flank. Impulse has no armor except for this knockdown shield, and it's just a white one at that somehow for Team Noble. But it looks like Nerf will show up. They'll be able to finish him off. Complexity has gone down as well. So Nerf somehow survived that scramble, but for how long? Oxygen showing up and they will be picked apart. And so now we're down to 4 squads remaining. We got Oxygen, we got Team Trash, another full 3, and a rat running out here somewhere as well. And so a lot of our teams that were playing in Overlook just thrown for a loop. It's Nerf here going down. That's Fearing Live falling, and Messiah will ultimately get cleaned up. This is a monstrous game for Team Trash. As you can see, Jelly has 6 kills right now, Tom.
Monsoon, let's see what he does. He's just big chilling, waiting for this 3v3 to take fight. And he has the high ground over everybody. And who does he want to grief? It's going to be Hambino and the Oxygen squad.
He still has to be careful. You can see that Eclectic can actually spot him out. He needs to buy time. He did you a favor. Why are you going after Monsoon? Hello, the 3-man is down there. You need to take them out, but instead, they spend their time going after Monsoon, and so that allows Oxygen to actually get the reset there. And that should have been the win for Eclectic. Defensive bombardment's down now, and this is actually an opportunity for Monsoon if the trades happen to come in and secure a win for his squad.
Yeah, they threw right there. Team Trash needed to focus on when they had the down player on the other side, but look at Monsoon. He is just peppering the players from the high ground. He should be focused here any second, but keep in mind the fight is taking place. And you can see OXG is fairly weak. Monsoon is just putting in some serious rat work right here. This is phenomenal patience from him. It's like he's got the player outlines there, just using sound cues left and right. Jelly gets dropped from Protectable, and now OXG has the 2-on-3. Monsoon's going to love that. Multiple players weak. There's Monsoon getting into the action as well, finding a couple kills for himself. I think he may be able to... Oh, he takes third place for his team, and Kubsky is going to take the kill lead, but that should be OXG taking down Team Trash for the win. There's the Tomcat Rat Slash as well. Unfortunate missed opportunity for Team Trash. OXG is going to take the win.
Yeah, that was a huge opportunity for Team Trash, but I think more than anything else, that's a learning opportunity for them at this point. When you're able to spot that out, when you see that knock onto one of the players that you know is going to be your biggest competitor in that 3v3, you need to push them instead. And so that one slips away from them, but it will be Team Oxygen taking the win there in game number 3. We're going to take a break, and when we get back, we'll have the second half of Pro Night after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Eat, Speak, Compete.
Eat, Speak, Compete.
Yes.
Name, incredible. Logo, even better.
I'm your host, as always, Yeso, joined by my co-host, Luke Shimone. Brew.
There's a lot to unpack there. I don't even know where to start.
If one of the North American teams doesn't win, their 2021 season is done. I got my fingers crossed. I think you got this. Let's turn more towards the competitive side. They finished strong.
They were like 35-2.
They finished strong.
If the only intent is, hey, let's make this game as esports as possible, then sure, but that's never going to be what Nintendo does.
And I'm very curious to see what kind of their first take on what a Valorant World Championship should look like.
Dang. That's super fun sounding.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
That sounds super fun. I think that's like the
Hey everyone, Yeso Claus here to wish you a very happy holidays. We here at Esports Arena are definitely getting into the spirit of the season. And it all starts off with the 12 days of Gamesmas. Kicking off on December 2nd and running all the way through December 19th, we'll have tournaments going on for a range of awesome titles, including Apex Legends, Smash Ultimate, Halo Infinite, and more. The awesome part is you can earn points throughout the entire event. Now you get points by participating in tournaments, placing high in said tournaments as well, and if you come and donate canned food or toys for Tots. We've also got some awesome Esports Arena merch bundles going on all throughout the month of December. So if you're looking for a stocking stuffer or a present for that gamer in your family, make sure to check those out and pick one up. If you need any further information about Gamesmas and what we've got going on, head over to matcherino.com/ESA today and come and spend your holidays with us here at Esports Arena.
Refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0-calorie treat. They're all our top fresh flavored splash.
It's fruit freshen.
I'm fading.
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast.
Excedrin, game over for headaches.
Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on applying the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. With the bars and the breaks, I'm talking one chance that was so good for the code. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Welcome back, everybody. Halfway through tonight's games, and we've got 3 different winners so far as Oxygen grabs the victory there in Game 3. Themselves in trash with 11 kills apiece, so that is a big one for both of those squads on our Mobile 1 leaderboard. Let's check out, though, our player of the game here from Game Number 3 is Oxygen. Have that pop-off performance, and it's going to go to our old friend Kubsky. Season 3 Applejacks team member. 7 kills and 4 assists in this one with over 1,400 damage, and that's a huge showing. And that's Kubsky involved in every single kill in that game, so playing a big part in the success here of Oxygen. Now, things are going to be really interesting with just 3 games remaining. Nobody has been able to really separate themselves from the pack on the leaderboard, so it promises to be an exciting and very close run to the finish with just 3 games left ahead of us. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. Feel free, spam in Twitch chat. Who you think is going to take the win tonight? Let us know. But as we head to another break, do want to remind you guys, you want to pick up some Esports Arena swag for that gamer in the family. It is the holiday season. Make sure to head over to shop.esportsarena.com. You can even grab one of these brand new Intel jerseys like the one hanging up behind me. Use code SEASON4 at checkout to get 15% off your order today. That's shop.esportsarena.com, promo code SEASON4. Going to a quick break. When we come back, folks, we kick off the second half. Jamerson and Tom will get you ready for that in a few.
Versus coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking, yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. With the bars and the breaks, I'm talking one chance that was so close for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
It's fruit, refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. They're all our top best flavored smash.
It's fruit freshen.
I'm fading.
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast.
Excedrin, game over for headaches.
All right, Team Oxygen were able to steal the show there in game number 3 and take the win. You saw Kupski coming out fragging there, especially towards the end. 7 kills overall. So where does that put them on our Mobile 1 leaderboard? Let's go ahead and check in as we have game number 4 already loading up. So it is really close race right now, and Team Oxygen propelled themselves up to 5th place with that win. They're tied currently with Razor and 100 Thieves for that 3rd place spot. They're all also 1 point behind Team Esports Arena right now, Tom.
I think the most surprising thing would be the game that Team Trash had, though. Look at them in 6th place, the newest addition coming in, filling in for C9 on our pro day. One of our amateur open teams looking like they're ready to just slay out. And I think that's really awesome because look at who they're beating. Teams like Liquid, teams like TSM, Complexity, teams that have won multiple ALGSs. Yes, that's just 3 games. But when we talk about how tough this lobby is, look at teams like Ghost, who won last week. They're in 18th place. So it goes to show every day, every week is different as we hop into game number 4.
Yeah, game number 4, though. With this halftime break, maybe teams were able to kind of shuffle things around and figure out really how they want to approach this lobby right now. With 3 games left to go, though, and how tight this lobby is in terms of that point spread, it's still anyone's game. Even anyone down there in that 18th place spot, they can turn things around with 2 good games. Let's join on board with Team Oxygen to see exactly how they're navigating this early game to set themselves up for success here in game number 4. They shared a very similar spot, a very similar rotation, but hold on a second. We do have that 50-50 taking place once again. Intel versus Absolute Monarchy at Overlook.
Yeah, let's see if we can find out who's going to win that fight as that 50-50 has happened now 4 games in a row. Exciting to see the zones kind of change. Had 3 different zones pulling all over the place. 1 north, 1 south, 1 over towards that east side. It's more northeast, but Intel trying to put the hurting back onto, I believe it's Absolute Monarchy still. They already have 1 player down. I love that bubble on over towards the door. Double kick in. Everybody pushing through now, and it's going to be all she wrote. As you can see, Cody's on the opposite side of the door as well. Let me in, let me in.
Oh, I love that. Stomps is just like, no, I'm not letting anyone in through this door. He didn't care if he's getting shot in the back. There you go. Team Intel, it seems like they've got a better grasp on how to take this 50-50 at Overlook. And so it is a true 50-50. That's 2 for 2. 2 going to either side now for Team Intel. Now, that does, of course, delay them a little bit. But luckily for them, they will have that scan in the back as well. And so they just need to now recover. Petty Boss does have that purple, and we have a fairly similar zone, but this one is going to be pulling over towards Fragment East. And that's so surprising when you have like that ring pulling towards Lava and Geyser and Mod. You'd imagine it has a lot of attention there, but instead, for those teams that don't have that scan, they're going to be caught off guard by this northern pull.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is going to be super interesting. Vizio has already rotated inside over towards the fragment side. You can see them kind of sitting over towards that train area, waiting for TSM. TSM has loved getting into early fights, though, and they've changed up their strategies. So if I'm on board with anybody, if I'm looking at what strategy any team is running, since TSM is getting gifted this zone, I want to see what their strategy is going to be because we know what Vizio is going to be. Get inside the zone, set up, etc., etc. Exit, something very similar to, they're going over towards No Name. Jamerson, this isn't a bad spot. I think that this could be a good play. I don't know if there's going to be a scan on top of this roof, though, like there typically is. And if not, that's not going to be as viable as you were really hoping for because you could bubble, scan this, get more information. We're not going to really know until we move into Zone 3 what exactly this is going to be, but you could start to see teams starting to favor that no-name fragment area.
Yeah, they might be thinking that this is going to be a train track ending, right, in between No Name and in Fragment, but also by putting themselves on the more eastern side of the zone, they're going to avoid a lot of that western rotation coming in from squads. Right now, Ghost, one of those squads that are coming up as well. They actually got out a team on the balloons, but unfortunately, they're not able to hit those shots. They were so vulnerable finally connecting there, but man, they missed out on an opportunity for a free kill point, but at the very least, they have good loot here, and they'll be able to play in from the edge as well. coming in from that south side. So for 100 Thieves, though, they haven't been able to find the early game fightings. They haven't been able to find the third-party attempts that like we saw in games number 1 and 2, but they're still coming to the edge. They get that beacon, they'll realize that it is going over towards the eastern side of the map. Team Intel, oh no, getting into their second fight, and things already going bad for them, but it's a 1-for-1. And there it is. Pow cleans it up, and now he needs to recover his teammates. You can see how many teams are in the area, but no one's actually coming in for the third party.
Vaxlon was so close to getting thirsted. Look at the sliver of HP that he actually had while that was taking place, and we can tell who Pow's favorite is on the team. Whoever you res first, in my opinion, is who's the favorite is.
And that's so unfortunate for Renegades, too, because they won that team fight, but they don't get the armor swaps. You can see, I believe, the Loba team, Xset, were able to steal some of the armor swaps away from them. And so while they should have double purples, now they're just still left with 1 purple for Vaxlon there. But they're happy to have survived that and picked up the kill points at the very least, as Ghost are about to pick up some, maybe. You have to be careful at this angle. You can see from that choke, the other team is starting to back away and regroup now. So Ghosts have lost out on an opportunity to pounce upon this, as Six has to use that bubble just to heal up. But Madness is laying into him. Unfortunately, does not get the knock, and now he's getting charge rifled from across the map. He's going to continue to charge forward here to pick off the rest of this team.
Madness is putting down good damage, but that's not the typical tracking that we see from Madness, honestly. I've seen him hit shots maybe 100% cleaner. It seems like he's full sending with this 3x, and 3x is letting him down. Maybe the 2x or even no scope would have been a little bit better over here. That distance for the 3x is something that if he was a little bit closer, then if the players were going up the zip line over towards the balloon and he was a little bit closer, that 3x is going to put in some serious work. And that distance there, the 3x is a little bit too much. So it's always interesting to see who uses what scope for their R301 and who's choosing what type of shotgun that they want to use, whether that's going to be EVA 8, PK, or Mastiff. And Madness is no worries, no care. He is just full sending everything.
Yeah, it looked like it was Noble on the other side of that one, and they were able to pick up at least 1 of the kills. Madness does have that port, but his team is still anchoring over there, so I'd be surprised if he tried to continue to stay aggressive. That team will just be able to back away. The biggest question is if they were able to pick up the banner before that retreat. TSM decide this one is probably going on over towards No Name, and take a look. There's a roster swap, or at least a change in characters. It's going to be the Loba for TSM.
Interesting to see TSM switching up their strategy, and I don't think that it's a legend swap that they need. I think that it's just a different type of evaluation of how they're going to play this fragment side, and it's nice to go and try things out. If you're going to try things out, why not go for it inside Series E? Now we see the 2-4X, the original gold R301 scope being used here by Kimchi.
Yeah, I was never really a fan of the 2-4. It is just so
funky,
and then having to deal with the scope in, scope out. I was a 3x fiend myself until I ultimately made the conversion over to the Bruiser. But I still will go back to the 3x every now and then if I feel like I'm just not hitting my shots with the 2x. I just need a little bit of extra help there. But yeah, right now, Team Excedrin, they have not been having a great night so far. They've been going down fairly early on in a lot of these rotates, and they've got some decent loot here, and they can play this one passively. And if they want to, they might be able to make a move for that beacon, as most teams are considering this one going over towards No Name, and so a lot of fragment is just free.
And if it pops on over towards the other side, then you never really know what type of fights are going to take place. And I'm wondering teams like 100 Thieves, right, what they're doing, because they're over towards Landslide, finally getting their first scan. And there it is. 100 Thieves is over here towards the Fragment West construction building. Now, the thing is if they could find one more scan and then Valkyrie redeploy, that would be phenomenal. But right now, that's not the case. So they're trying to utilize what information is in front of them and figure out where teams are coexisting, and if they could either Ash Ultimate or another redeploy in, what that will mean for them. But that is a surprise for everybody. Away from No Name, more back on over towards the epicenter Overlook Mountains, which means that it could be one of those train track endings, but not the train track ending that we were thinking of.
Yeah, this is definitely a hard flip on that ring pull. So all the no-name squads are in a lot of trouble, actually. If you don't have that Valkyrie to try and get out, it's going to be very difficult rotate for them. And I think 100 Thieves, with that ring pull, if they end up just kind of waiting around here, they can wait to see where the Valkyrie teams end up redeploying, utilize this really passive time for themselves to position afterwards. But right now you can see Vane's getting a little antsy and he wants to find some action for themselves. 100 Thieves have been really active here in the early game, and this is the first time that they haven't been. But Xset now in a fight. That's Nerf. Oh, going down. They got absolutely slapped.
Xset is a very powerful skirmishing team, and if you can have Loba and be good at skirmishing, that's just all the better. Teams like Vizzy are really showing that too. And sooner or later, all of these teams are going down, though. Let's be honest. There's no way that they're going to survive this no-name area. This is probably one of the more unpredictable polls that we've had in Series E in quite some time. And sometimes it's all about hitting that scan into zone number 3, because that's when things have been a little bit unorthodox. So Esports Arena, do they have the information? It looks like they do. They're big bailing. They're going all the way over towards this fragment west-hand side. And if you see this from another player's perspective, hey, why is a team landing all the way over here? They should start getting the memo now that other teams have information that they don't.
Yeah, this is my big thing. This is what I was expecting 100 Thieves quite possibly do. And oh,
learn to fly, kids.
Yeah, Noct made it. What happened to you guys here? They got to be careful. You can see, I don't know if there was a team inside that building, but Noct, he's going to throw down that missile swarm just to give his teammates just a little bit more coverage here on that climb up. And so if you're 100 Thieves, you definitely saw them making that redeploy. You have a I think like a 95% guess that it is Esports Arena that made that. And take a look at the resource management, handing around the gold helmet so that he can have that redeploy even faster after pulping that ultimate excel. So Esports Arena, they're going to be on the move once again in about 20 seconds.
I love the way that Esports Arena plays. They are a team that plays a very risky redeploy, but we saw that in the Overlook side. Sometimes it pays off. And you're only really able to do that unless you've been playing Valkyrie for quite some time. You can see other teams that aren't as experienced will start full sending it into spots that are taken. But there's a whole checklist, and all members need to be involved when you are trying to fly into a spot, right? Everyone should be co-captain and trying to give directions on where to go. Meanwhile, Team Razor, who won game number 1, they are into the next zone. You can see this little speck of the mini map is in over towards this train station side. So they may consider turtling here and pouring out a little bit later, but at the same time, they want to do some heavy gatekeeping on the teams.
Yeah, we have a few still on over here, and 100 Thieves. I'm wondering if they're still over at Fragment West as well. So a lot of the western side is actually pretty clear because everyone decided that that no name was the ring. No name was where it was going to be ending. And so you can see Fragment. There aren't as many teams as we would typically expect right now. Maybe 5 squads total, with 17 squads still left in the lobby, by the way. So right now, Razor are going to have an easier go of things unless more teams from Overlook, excuse me, from No Name try to make their way on over here, hoping to get a free rotate.
With 17 squads left, this is about to be a bloodbath going into the next zone. Very similar slow game that we saw in game number 3 too. And Razor is the team to watch when this thing starts to close. But after that, they're going to be dealing with the same fate that a lot of these other teams are doing. And I think that's why you can see some rotation coming in from another player. They're trying to coexist. They're trying to find out if another building is going to be taken. If so, how they can continue to kind of inch their way up. These fragment zones get so interesting, and we still don't know exactly where this one's going to pull. That's what makes this game so unpredictable right now. Whoever adapts and is on the fly with the rotations is going to win this game.
Yeah, Esports Arena make their way over towards Climatizer with their next redeploy. You can see the helmet is still either on Noct or on Skittlecake, so you might be trying to get another one up just in case if they need to get out of there. So I love how they're playing this. They are really utilizing their utility to the full extent, their equipment to their full extent as well. But for the time being, they're just trying to survive. They're just trying to hit that late game that they are so well known for. It's Excedrin, one of the other squads that is stuck inside Fragment now. The Arcstar forcing Kimchi Lee back into a corner, and it looks like they will clean up Team Ghosts. So not a great day so far. 4 games in a row. Ghosts haven't been able to get much going at all whatsoever.
I don't know what it is, because last week they were doing so well. When we look at the thought process, it seems like they're playing hyper aggressive, but it's a new lobby, right? And teams are playing completely different, whether it's a little bit more passive, whether it's a little bit more aggressive, maybe it's more getting into placements instead of going for kills. Something's definitely different in the approach. And I definitely don't think they're shooting as well as they normally do, but hopefully that honeymoon phase isn't over. And sometimes that's what happens, is everything looks great on paper to start, and then you got to start going through some growing pains. You learn a lot through the mistakes and losses that you end up taking. So should be a good learning experience for Ghosts. If anyone's going to go and break down the theater, it's going to be those players, and that's why they've been so successful in the ALGS.
Now, Team Trash, who were able to secure second place for themselves in that last game, not as much action for themselves, but it looks like they got dropped on or dropped past by a Valkyrie squad right now. Team Liquid even getting involved here. We're trying to hunt them down. It's going to be Lox that ends up getting the kill onto enemy. So Excedrin was that squad. We were on board with them as they were using the Valkyrie redeploy, and that's where they ended up landing. And now that's into the maw of Team Trash. They haven't been cleaned up quite yet, but it's just a matter of time. Team Liquid patrolling around on the high grounds here, just outside of Epicenter. Now they want to pick up these kills themselves. As that missile swarm comes out, the bubble will be used to just hold things down for now, but Team Liquid are just waiting for their opportunity to pounce.
I would defensive bombardment this immediately if I was Fun. There's no way that he doesn't have it. There goes the first Nox, and that's going to be onto Kimchi. Nicely done there from Nocturnal. Nocturnal making sure that he's taking some off angles and using every single little detail of the map to his advantage. Razor, though, with a big fight. Malice with some nice PK shots. Doesn't connect for as much as they were hoping for. And now it seems like they're going to full send. This could be a bubble on top of the train cart here if they want to go and do it, and it is. Nice plays there from Bursty, securing the loot for Team Razor.
Yeah, they've just been hopping from building to building. Remember, they started off over at that train station, made their way over now to the diner and then the train tracks here. But they need to come up with something. It's 30 seconds left to go, and the ring should be pulling away from them. It should be pulling up towards that northeast, and we don't know how much of No Name has been cleared out. There has been a lot of fighting. We're down to 12 squads just before the ring starts closing up. So Razor will literally have an uphill battle ahead of them here, and they still have to worry about their back.
Unfortunately, Team Liquid, after the good plays, gets knocked. I think that was Vizio and Phony with the charge rifle from long range onto Nocturnal, who was playing Valkyrie. So it's another tough game for Team Liquid. We'll see if they can get him right back in. I don't think all players were eliminated, but it is just loot city over here for the Controller Boys. Controller Boy problems, as you can see the shots going there onto Fun as well. That's going to be Team Trash combining. And it seems like this is what happens with Team Liquid fairly often. They seem to go out right in this like 7th to 12th range, and they're not able to really make it into these final circles. I would love to see a little bit more out of them. Definitely one of my favorite teams to watch, so we'll see if they can pick it up going into game number 5 and 6. 2 more games remain for these players after this one, but Razor, after their first win, they are looking for one more if they can go and do it. Esports Arena trying to do the same thing and win back to 2 games here. As you can see, Xset and TSM in your kill feed duking it out over towards that no-name area.
And it's Xset that walk away with that fight. We knew that there was going to be a lot of bodies over here at No Name, but Xset are the ones that survive, and they'll be able to get that res as well. Clarify takes a well-deserved moment, but it's Razor finally taking this fight now as they lose out on one. Bursty trades back up against Splash, but it's now down to a 1v2. Dracos gets gold bag res right back into things. So Razor just did not pounce at the right time, but here comes a third-party attempt from the other side. They might get caught off guard by that gold bag res as Phoenix takes a lot of damage. And that's going to be Team Trash coming in to clean up these kills. And now Razor, they'll have a moment, though, try and get back into things.
Was that Team Trash or was that Sentinels on different gamer tags? Because these bubble fights are looking so good. As you can see, Skittle Cakes gets dropped, Pow gets dropped, a Prize gets dropped. So Renegades going out on over towards Xset. Xset dropping 2 really, really solid teams as we switch on over to Fury from Team Vizio, highest placing, 2nd place today. Team that, with Loba getting inside the zone and stealing everybody's loot that is possible. You know that they're going to be A-OK in terms of ammo. They should be A-OK in terms of heals. taking the high ground on top of this mountain too.
Oh,
looks to be a
it looked like
priority
Nog
position.
tried to take it away from them, and he got absolutely punished there. They have every crate weapon. It looks like, by the way, the Spitfire, they got the Scout. I guess they don't have the Kraber, or it would have been in Fury's hands, but now they've got the weapons to just hold this down. The Scout and the Charge Rifle put in so much work for them as the Knights just clean up Noble. We're down to 6 squads remaining, and it looks like Team Trash might go down. Big fight taking place. Exet, Team Trash, Razor all involved over here, and Vizio come in for the third-party cleanup.
Needs to heal though. There's the bubble. Let's see if they have gold bag. No gold bag coming through. Scissors gets back in. Nice discipline from Phony to go and hold on to that one. Also passing a battery on over towards the teammates. That Missile Swarm not going to go and connect. But this is a 3-on-3-on-3 situation. I don't know where Complexity has been hiding this entire time. They're going to go and get some kills on the board. Meanwhile, Scissors and Phony are going to drop, which means that we have a straight up 3-on-3 Xset, I believe, going up against Complexity here for the dub.
Yeah, Xset, they will have that opportunity to heal up, and so this HP difference currently between the armors is basically just that health that Clean has lost and hasn't been able to heal. You should take a moment to go ahead and use that, as the Ultimate Excel is actually getting popped by Clarify, and he does have the gold helmet, so if he has one more Ultimate Excel, he might be able to get it up in time, as both teams have plenty of time to actually posture for this last fight. It's the last ring as well. It's the slow ring. They're basically on opposite sides of this zone from each other. It's all about positioning. As you can see, Monsoon is trying to utilize that Valkyrie movement to try and get some sort of high ground angle, but Team Xset will be able to keep them at bay for the time being. But now, with the full resets coming out from either side, it's the 75 HP advantage for Xset going into this fight. How will Complexity be able to close this gap against them and really utilize Reptar on this Caustic?
For those of you bad at math, that is 3 red armors against 3 purple armors, and there's 25 difference in between all of that. So we'll see if that makes a huge difference, which it should, because you're also got to look at the attachment situation right now for Monsoon. He's going to basically use 1 wingman clip and then have to full send into the rest of the massive shots. There's not going to be enough time to try to reload. This fight's going to take place so quickly that there is going to be just explosions on top of explosions all over the place. You also don't have any big heals for Monsoon. He was using cells before, so this fight's going to happen when it does happen very quickly.
Nice connects coming out from the Complexity side as they hit that Missile Storm, slowing them down. But you can see Xset are slowly walking them away, or walking them down. They know that they have the armor advantage, and so they feel like they are completely advantageous. The big trouble is to not play into the Caustic, to not play into the barrels, and they're trying their best to stay spread apart. As you got that lurk coming out from Clarify, he's slowly trying to creep up onto them right now, and Complexity are just completely huddled up together. It could be one big nade that could be the big difference maker. And Ultimate Excel, that's a big one coming out for Reptar.
Keep in mind that gold helmet has been ticking the entire time, and what we thought was a completely useless Ultimate Accelerant from Clarify seems to be putting in work right now, because he's about to be at 100%, which is going to be huge, because that should cost the bubble from Shiny, and Shiny is just a couple percentage away from having his offensive bombardment as well.
And now here comes the full push. Xset going into them right now. Clarify does go down, but Monsoon trades back. It's a 1v1. Kenny on the other side of this one is about to get cracked as Monsoon ends up taking the win for his squad. Coming up clutch in every game in one way or another. Monsoon. Ooh, he had to rat it out in game number 3, but he gets the win for his team there in game number 4.
Definitely one of the players that you would pick in your top 5 of all of North America and said, hey, who do you want in a 1v1 to go and win the game? You definitely want Monsoon there. He's going with the Kung Fu fighting, didn't even want to reload that wingman. Like we talked about, that fight when it was going to take place was going to be very explosive. All these players got their ultimates up, and by that time, it was too late. They've already bubble sent, and it was Xset, unfortunately, falling to Complexity, but very well fought from both those teams just to get up to that point. That was a very unpredictable zone.
And it's been a very even kind of day so far. 4 separate winners across 4 separate games, and our leaderboard was extremely tight heading into this game. So when we get back for game number 5, I'm really looking forward for that leaderboard. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break while our admins deal with that. When we get back, we'll have game number 5 after this.
Versus coming daily under pressure. Working on applying the scheme, the true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking, yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Get the bars to the breaks. I'm talking one chance, yeah, I was so good for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Four games in the books and 4 different winners. You heard Jamerson mention that as Complexity Grab game number 4. And interestingly enough, one of the slowest final circles you will ever see, with them and Xset taking their time finishing that game. But Complexity comes out on top as we check out our player of the game here for game number 4. This time, it's going to go to Monsoon. You heard Tom talking about it. If you want a player to take that 1v1 to finish a game, Monsoon is going to be one of those high priority picks. 6 kills and an assist. Not a ton of damage this time around. It's just short of 900, but got it done. Very efficient use of that damage there from Monsoon, and Complexity grabs the victory. Now it's anybody's game here as we head into the final 2 games of the night. Do want to remind you one more time, you want to get in on that giveaway for a couple of those Oculus 2s. Make sure you use ! giveaway in the Twitch chat right now. It'll get you the links and all the info that you need. We're going to a quick break, but when we come back, we kick off the first of our final 2 games here of Pro Night. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Eat, Speak, Compete.
Eat, Speak, Compete.
Yes.
Name, incredible. Logo, even better.
I'm your host, as always, Yeso, joined by my co-host, Luke Shimone Brew.
There's a lot to unpack there. I don't even know where to start.
If one of the North American teams doesn't win, their 2021 season is done. I got my fingers crossed. I think you got this. Let's turn more towards the competitive side. They finished strong.
They were like 35-2.
They finished strong.
Really, if the only intent is, hey, let's make this game as esports as possible, then sure, but that's never going to be what Nintendo does.
And I'm very curious to see what kind of their first take on what a Valorant World Championship should look like.
Dang. That's super fun sounding.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
That sounds super fun. I think that's like
One shot, now the future is yours. Versus coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true spot trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. The memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Put the bars in the breaks. I'm talking one chance. I was so close for the go. It's one shot. Now the future is yours. Go.
Welcome back, guys. We just saw Complexity get the win there in game number 4. That means we have 2 games left to go. So let's check in with the Mobile One leaderboard early on to see exactly where everyone stands. Because before game number 4, it was a really tight race between so many squads, and it still is. Xset currently in the lead with 46 points, and Complexity with that win propelled themselves into second place now, 6 points behind them.
Got a counter logic goose egg warning on 20th place. Look out. Look out.
Yeah, with 2 games left to go, it's anyone's chance except for CLG here. Yeah, it's kind of rough for CLG right now. They have not been able to find their footing whatsoever. So, boys, just put on 1 point. Just put on 1 point. Let's take a look at the Mobile One high performance moment from that last game, though, in game number 4. And it was this final fight. Great bubble coming out from Shiny there that negates so much of the damage. And you can see Monsoon was just laying into them that whole time with big shots coming out from that massive. And you said, you know, this naked wingman, it's going to be very difficult for him. But ultimately, yeah, it was the Kung Fu fighting. It was the karate coming out from the Valkyrie to finish it all off. And so Monsoon securing that dub for them. And honestly, his performance as well. Coming out from the last game, remember, he was able to rat it out to top 3. He was able to pick up kills along the way as well. And so those points end up making a huge difference with 2 games left to go. Will that be the reason why they win? We're going to find out in just a moment here, but I'm loving to see this kind of performance coming out from Complexity right now.
And they're giving themselves opportunities too, right? Monsoon was ratting that out all the way since... I remember when we were on the Tomcat Rat Cam, he was 12 squads remaining. And I think he was doing it even way before then because they were one of the early squads to remain. But that's what you love to see is primetime players really stepping up. And I'm waiting for other players that are in that same category, the main slayers for their teams, like, you know, Hal. I'm waiting for Hal to step up. I'm waiting for Madness to step up. I'm waiting for Nocturnal to step up on Team Liquid. All the players that have been these big players on these major organizations have been fairly quiet today. So with 2 games remaining, I'm really looking at these players to kind of, you know, get into that same category as Monsoon's been today. But you just it just goes to show how every day of Apex is different. Every week of Apex is different. And it's all because of the way that the meta is, but also the rotations, the way that other players are playing the lobbies, a little bit of RNGs mixed in too, and just really how you're playing overall as a squad. And right now it seems like Complexity is starting to, over the last couple of games, put things together.
Here we are on board with our winners from game number 4. It is Complexity dropping over at Survey Camp once again. One nice thing for Complexity tonight, with the absence of Cloud9, is that the northern side is a bit more free for them, right? So they don't have to worry as much in their rotates and about rotating into Cloud9. So that's, I think, one concern that helps them out. And Tom, I don't know what you did, but thank you so much. These rings have been amazing. We've been basically on a world tour of World's Edge so far.
This is really exciting. It's super rare to get a north, south, east, and west zone out of 6 games. And out of 5 games, that's what we've already had so far. So very interesting to go and see how the players are going to set up for this one. I mean, when you're looking at it, Lava Fissure, that building directly below the Fissure name, right in the SURE area, that is a good spot to go and hold. Then when you look at the south side of the Hot Springs area, kind of where Blight is holding, is always a priority position too. So I don't know what the players are going to go and hold, but you don't know if it's going to bounce back on over to, say, Landslide or something a little bit more or a little bit more unorthodox like we had in the previous game.
Yeah, I guess you could say that Fissure is a nice spot to hold. I'm so sorry, everybody. It's been a long
I'm so slow, I don't even get it. It's gonna,
night.
unless you're wearing a fanny pack and a dad hat, you probably didn't get that joke. So I don't have one of those right now.
Complexity are taking their time, though. They're going to use this replicator over at Epicenter right now as Team Intel. I don't know. I was so caught up in my own joke, I wasn't looking at the kill feed. Did they get into the fight with Absolute Monarchy? We are down one player currently in the lobby as Team Intel are just playing on the outside of Overlook currently.
I think someone quit after hearing your joke, honestly.
I would, yeah, you know, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Ooh, is that a Valkyrie deploy being used right now?
It could be an early one, which means that an Ultimate Excel had to have been used for that to even happen. And let's see if we can Legolas him out of the air. And I'm not quite sure which team that could have potentially been. That is a very, very early rotation coming through, though. And Intel has to consider doing the same. As soon as that is up, they need to peace out. But fighting over towards the no-name area is risky business right now, especially with triple gray armor.
Yeah, triple gray armor, and you're also having to worry about TSM quite possibly making the rotate. Take a look at the timer. It's 40 seconds left to go before the zone starts closing, and it was Absolute Monarchy. They got triple blues as well, and now they're just trying to avoid or at least fight in a better position up against Team Intel. But as more of this time starts ticking down, you have to worry about that third party. 27 seconds left to go. They're making the push onto the isolated player here, but Stobbs isn't able to get the damage quite yet. It's going to be Sung ultimately coming in with that Prowler with the flank, taking out Petty Boss. And so now it's down to a 3v2, but it's all about surviving it. It's all about making sure you do not lose out on a player, because that will be the immediate full send coming out from our fragment squads.
I can't tell if Petty Boss was just overextended or if his team completely bailed on him. Looks like a combination of both. Is Absolute Monarchy now with this 2v3. And just a heads up to Team Intel that if you take the fight even after they drop it a different POI, it's still kind of a 50-50. So I don't really... They're calling peace and they're waving the white flag after doing the 50-50, and then you just press them over towards no name. It seems like there's some beef going on here.
Oh yeah, at some point in tournaments when these 50-50s are taking place, it's less about, you know, just fighting over and winning your spot, which AM just did right now. They were able to clean up Intel. It's more about, it is going to be some ego at the end of the day, right? You want to just prove that, hey, we're going to be better than you. We're going to team fight better than you. And right now, AM have gotten the better of them 3 out of the 5 times that they've been dropping over there. So we'll see if Team Intel can equalize that out in game number 6, but largely because of this, they, you know, are struggling a little bit on the leaderboard. They got the win, or they got second place last week, but right now all of our Intel squads, or former Intel squads as well, except for ESA, kind of struggling in these games. Splash, though, find themselves in a fight over at Hot Springs currently. Nox Gas Grenade traded for Nox Gas Grenade, and that's going to be Blight pushing up for free. Big connect there, and ultimately getting the knock on Sabatro, and he is not done as he continues to push forward. And CLG still maintaining that big old goose egg.
I don't know if we've ever seen on Pro Day one of our pro teams catch the goose. That would be horrible. And if that's the case, they need to do some serious reevaluating on how they're playing this game, because they just got bullied in terms of having a god spot. They are going against double blues and a gray armor. They have Caustic. Nobody was watching where these players were coming from. They just get hit with the gas and immediately are going down for free. And that's just, you know, quite frankly, it's embarrassing. Let's be honest. You have 5 games and you haven't picked up a point. Can't even break inside the top 15 for 1 point. They have to reconsider what they're doing. Someone has to make a change. I don't know what it is, but that's just not going to fly.
Yeah, now here's Nerf making their move out of Lava Siphon, kind of rounding around from the western edge. They make their way into Landslide here. So I think while a lot of teams are expecting this to be a fissure pull over towards, or maybe even Hot Springs, Nerf might have a different idea, or maybe they're trying to play slow side. I don't know. Now they do have one player taking the roof and high ground control, as Turns is kind of by himself. This is a little bit scary for them to be doing right now, as he clears out barrels too, and he's just kind of really signaling that he's in the area. So whoever that Caustic was, they'll know that one of the barrels was popped at least, and so they will have company inside Landslide. At least for Nerf, though, coming out from Lava Siphon, they're able to get some decent armors. They've got the purples along with the blue onto Messiah right now. But yeah, Nerf has been another squad that has been struggling all evening.
They had their moments over towards the Overlook side. I think that was probably their best game overall for them. But right now, I don't see a beacon scan over towards the landslide area. So that could have been such great information, because landslide is close to where the zone is ending. And if they could get a scan in on top of that, maybe they could redeploy to a super good spot. But we know that one of the buildings in Hot Springs is open. The problem is how many other teams are going to recognize that? Unless you're getting a Bloodhound scan, unless you are flying a crypto drone around, you most likely won't have that information. Razor zooms in, you can see Malice zooms onto that building that we were talking about. That is that priority building that is located directly where Lava Fisher is on the map. So I like where Razor's at, but things get pretty interesting over towards this Lava Fisher ending. I mean, you're going to see so many teams just over here. You're going to have already 2 teams coexisting here, teams inside the donut building. Every single building is going to be held.
It's a little bit greedy how they're holding it, because they're holding the house and like the basement, I guess, the underground path there. But I think the mindset is just to keep one player up top just in case a Valkyrie team shows up, and then he can show his face through the window. Now, Team Noble spot out that we do have Team Nerf currently crafting over there. You got to use every bit of information here in Apex Legends, but the fact that they're sitting on the blues along with the whites, not comfortable with the fight quite yet, so they're just sitting center zone. Team Excedrin have actually been able to gain this position while, of course, dropping over at Thermal. They'll be able to take this high ground. Unfortunately for them, they don't have the beacon, and so they won't be able to secure that in ring number 3 to notify them if they need to move.
We haven't seen many endings over here, and every time we've been casting over the last couple of weeks, month or so, these have been pulling over towards the Lava Fissure side. So without the beacon here, that is a huge point of emphasis to bring up, as we don't know and we can't predict exactly where this one's going to go. But the positioning's good. I think that that's a good and strong play overall. Meanwhile, TSM, Hal back on to Loba here for the second game. We all know he's just refusing to play Ashe to begin with, and he's going to eventually switch to Ashe. Let's be honest.
Maybe what he's trying to do is like what TSM always does, right? They have like some good performances in scrims, or in like a tournament just before something big happens, and then it forces a lot of people to like maybe consider that and think maybe that's the meta and make the swap. Maybe it's the big switcheroo for them, or I don't know if this is going to be a genuine pick for them. I think he will.
It's mind games.
Mind games, okay.
I think it's mind games. You're right. I think that they're toying with everybody. They're like, wait, if Hal's playing Loba, I'm gonna play Loba, and then next thing you know, everyone starts unlocking Loba. People that didn't even have her unlocked.
Yeah, I mean, historically, that's what happened. Preseason Invitational, they were playing the Caustic before, in all the scrims and all the practice games before the tournament actually started, and everyone's like, "Oh, I guess we got to play Caustic now." It's the TSM effect here in Apex Legends. Right now, 100 Thieves, they had a pretty decent start to the day, have slowed down a little bit here, and are not finding the third-party timings like they were in games number 1 and 2. They have a pretty strong position. Playing on the house off the train tracks, the western side of Fissure, and controlling a lot of space. They still have to be careful in how they maneuver around here. You can see Team Trash is just to the north of them. We've seen how aggressive Team Trash have been in basically the last 2 games.
Yeah, if you kind of looked at Lava Fissure like a W, and it's like both of those side buildings are the tip of the W, and then where 100 Thieves is the bottom of that, or like a V, I guess, then you can see these are the endings that are extremely popular on both ends of the V, where Xset is and where that building is that's unoccupied. Because the zone's not pulling over there, that building's not going to see any action this game. But they're just playing the math right now in terms of where zones typically end, because we're looking at a possible ending directly on this building over here, more over towards those pills in that mountain area, and then teams will get stuck on the low ground and have to push on up. We're looking at a possible ending over towards the building where Hot Springs is too. So there's a lot of different options over here, and 100 Thieves kind of just waiting it out and seeing what kind of information they can get going into zone number 3 and zone number 4.
Yeah, zone 3 does end up pulling away from Hot Springs, and so you can see that everyone that's inside Lava Fissure right now aren't quite happy with this, and it's been another slow game again as we're back on board with Team Excedrin. So now this is where you kind of want to figure out what's going on, right? What can we do here? So they're going to keep an eye on the skies, I would have to imagine, and see if any Valkyries end up rotating here. You got to utilize that information, that passive information as well, because they don't have that beacon that unfortunately should be spawning there. But right now. It looks like it will be a lot of Lobas still in play. You can see X-Set right there at the bottom of Lava Fissure. A lot of control. The Valkyrie redeploy being used by Splash, but they are disconnected. And so X-Set are trying to take advantage. Big damage onto Blight, and he is forced down onto the low. They're lucky to be able to survive that.
They're lucky that not only did they survive this, but not another team is set up here. This is a very common spot for a team to lock down. I've seen Madness and his team when they can't get over towards the building. This is basically the secondary spot for if you try to get into the building where the zone is going to end. This is where you play, and you just hope that you can survive down here as long as possible and don't get pressured from Hot Springs.
You see X-Set, they were raring to go. They wanted to, but they understand how strong of a position they have right now inside that building. They haven't been really pressured at all. A Valkyrie redeploy past them, and that's why this kind of presence coming out from Klein is what you need to do when the ring closes. You need to show presence out there, and it looks like Renegades in a fight already getting the thirst onto Drez.
Yeah, I think that was a really good point, is do that and have presence, but also don't get tunnel vision. And that's exactly what they did right there, and realize, okay, well, there's these players fighting, but am I even going to get the kill? Is that a waste of ammo at this point? Am I going to get shot from the side if I start tunnel visioning and honing in on these players too soon? And now on that landslide side, you can see Turns gets knocked. Bubble is going to go down for Fearing Live. Messiah is doing a great job of not taking any damage and staying alive on the Valkyrie. But meanwhile, in the kill feed, Clarify from Exa is going to get a knock onto Skill Cakes from Esports Arena 2. So this is that time where teams start fighting 20 seconds until zone number 3 moves into zone number 4. Not only that, that's when the zone really starts to trunk, and a majority of our teams are going to fight it out. Nerf looking like they have this under control so far. Messiah's been playing great on Valkyrie.
Oh boy, X-Set able to get another knock onto Dupe there. Esports Arena, who try to use that Valkyrie deploy to get onto these train tracks, and you can see 100 Thieves are hungry for those kills as well. Finally, Nerf, they turn things around in that fight, and they will be able to clean that one up. But 100 Thieves, they lose out on one. There's knocked the Missile Swarm. That was a delayed one as well, because he got knocked himself. Razor ultimately ended up falling as Renegades were able to take advantage of that 2v3 that they were able to start off a little bit earlier. And there's the bubble res, and oh no.
Wow.
Skittle Cakes going down. That is Esports Arena out early. They don't even hit the top 15. So now 100 Thieves commanding this western side of the zone, doing a great job of just making sure they are not contested.
Amu just toying with his food right there, just waiting for Skittle Cakes and Duplex to poke out of that bubble, and then as soon as they did, they absolutely got punished. And now on board with Excedrin, expect at least 5 more squads to be going down here as this zone just starts to get absolutely brutal. Defensive bombardments coming in. That's Vizio playing over towards this mountain edge area inside of the choke, and looking like they have a pretty solid grasp on how they want to play this.
Yeah, they just need to buy time for Scissors to heal up. Why is he not hitting a medkit? Are they just out of meds or something? They've got the Black Market Boutique. It's Ghost in a fight, though, cleaning up Noble. They survived that one, but there it is. It looks like the third party coming in from the southern side is... Maybe that was actually Vizio trying to get involved in this. Luckily for Ghost, they're able to back away into this blue car, scan out EMP on top of them very shortly. Or it looks like the drone was actually cleared. So, Team Ghost will go ahead and survive that. Oh, it's a tether.
Spectator glitch? Okay, yeah, there was a tether that came in. I was a little confused. It looked like an EMP, but OXG, big chillin' down underneath here. Looking like they're in a pretty solid spot as Nerf now makes their move. One player gets knocked. That's going to be 2 players going down. All 3, actually, as they are going to be able to drop Vizio. This is definitely the best performance we've seen out of Nerf so far. Messiah need to get him back up. Remember, he was the kill leader temporarily, too, as he moved from zone number 4 into zone number 5. Surprisingly, we still have 12 squads left, and no mathematician, but it looks like they're all full.
Yeah, and take a look. A lot of them are around here on the southeast side of the zone. You got Ghost, you've got Knights showing up, you've got Nerf just to the north as well in Complexity. They're starting to back away from this one, noting that there's just too many teams right now. They're going to start moving as well. As we don't know exactly where this ring is pulling. We haven't been able to get the scan quite yet, but Nerf are able to just hold down this position. Slow healing, though, is kind of unfortunate. We'll see if Messiah maybe has a bat for himself. He hasn't taken the time to heal quite yet. I'm wondering why. There it is. The bat finally comes out. He was giving me a little bit of anxiety here. And now they have to be careful of this sandwich. They've got a team to their north. They've got the Pittsburgh Knights coming into their east as well. But Turns is doing a good job of hitting a lot of these shots on the alternator now, even holding on to that Nox gas grenade for the time being, but he's still getting shot up from behind, and they do get a knock, but it's traded back and forth, and now that sandwich is just too brutal for them. It's just fearing live up for his team, but he might just go down to the ring here. He's just blinded by the lights. Now we're back on board with Renegades, who have had full control over this platform once they got rid of Razor.
There it is. Every time you get into zone number 4 and 5, you definitely anticipate around 10 teams. Anything more than that, it's like a grand finals for millions of dollars because nobody ends up wanting to die. But it's really zone dependent, and with so many little areas that you can play right now, you can see a couple of different buildings one on the train tracks. That's going to be the blue cart. You're going to have the building that we've been talking about and pinging the entire time. That's the priority god spot that XSET's been locking down. But the pro players are going to make any little safe haven their spot, right? You have Complexity, who's owning the majority of the real estate underneath the bridge. You have Rats around the corner. It's getting pretty interesting over here as the alternator now is in hands of Monsoon. Not quite sure what happened with his scope. Someone ripped the scope off that thing and put it elsewhere.
I mean, there are some players that just like their iron sights, and I think Monsoon is definitely one of them. As Complexity, like you said, they have full control over this southern side, and I would love to know if the ring is pulling down here or if it's going to be pulling toward that platform, but I think, you know, we have that early call coming out from some of our best macro callers that's going over to this building. It looks like Splash are getting pushed now by Complexity, and this is the big threat that they have to deal with. Remember, Splash, they had to take this position because, even though they were trying to get a little bit more forward. I think they're happy that they were actually forced down here by XSET, but will they be happy for long as Complexity are looking to finish them off?
They're starting to run into layers of difficulty here, right? It was like level 1 difficulty, stay alive underneath the bridge. Level 2 difficulty, deal with Monsoon and Complexity over towards the side. And the next level would obviously be that final 6th zone and seeing what they're able to do with that one. But this is, in order to get to that round, something that they're going to have to handle. Defensive bombardment into Nox gas grenade, well-placed bubble as well. And now you can see Complexity considering how they're going to get forward and push forward into this fight.
Monsoon tried to peek out to pop an early bubble, and I love that movement coming out. He is right on top of them, and Complexity execute on top of Splash. They trade 1 for 1 until Shiny picks up another kill. They've lost out. We'll see if they can get the res as Renegades, as they drop down low. It's all up to a prize up in this 1v1. He's going to keep them alive, but are they safe in the zone? It looks like it just ends on the edge, and while they're stuck down here, they should have that Valkyrie redeploy to retake height for themselves. So now it's 5 full squads remaining in this final circle.
100 Thieves, Renegades, Complexity. Great angle coming in for Vayne right there. Has to be careful. But as we predicted this zone, this is the spot that XSET's been holding the entire time too. So we'll see who's going to have the advantage right now. 100 Thieves, who's owning real estate. Team on the bottom definitely doesn't have any type of advantage. They are just stuck down there. And I believe that is Renegades. So a lot of different opportunities here, but the advantage has to go to the team inside of the building, right? XSET is sitting pretty. I think that they're going to be one of the last teams to go and rotate out. How are they going to deal with the other teams trying to take the outside of their building? Teams that are trying to play the top of the roof as well. And I think that Team Liquid has already gotten to the roof. Look at this. They haven't been showing any presence. They're just big chilling next to the AC unit.
Yeah, the big thing for Liquid is that they're going to have to walk in eventually, and they'll be a little bit exposed. We'll see how much cover they have. Also, with Renegades on the ground, you saw Vayne was trying to really apply the pressure onto them. They might have actually used that Valkyrie ultimate already and taken to the sky, so he might not have punished it. No, they're still down there, and so it's going to be very important for Vayne to keep an eye on them, make sure they can't retake height, and then, of course, secure those kills as they try to climb on up. A prize is up there now, as they've got a defensive bombardment being thrown down on top of them. With the 100 Thieves have to back away.
What a route by Vayne. I'm glad we had the flying camera throughout all of that. I mean, the guy is just like a magician, flying through the air, soaring, avoiding all the defensive bombardments, avoiding the team down below, getting back on over towards that trailer, which seems to be the other best spot in this game right now. So XSET, Liquid, 100 Thieves all have a safe haven spot to go and hold, while the rest of the teams are running around with their Heads caught off trying to find a spot to go and hold. One player from 100 Thieves does get knocked, and now you can see how important getting to the roof of this building was for Team Liquid.
Monsoon, the only team alive for his squad once again, by the way, as I believe anyhow, as we have 3 full squads remaining. Never mind, they got finished off. There it is, Scurry picking him off, so no ratability there for him. Liquid trying to take their push up into this building because they are so vulnerable now. That's going to be Clarify getting the knock on to one member as 100 Thieves playing this one out as a duo right now, but they are fragging out. They're charging forward to get these kills, and 100 Thieves might be able to do it again. There they go. They'll take game number 5. 100 Thieves had a very strong position from the beginning of the game, and they really capitalized off of it. Great win for 100 Thieves.
That's so amazing how 100 Thieves worked their way over towards where the other possible end zone was going to be, into the other spot. But just the way that they were able to space themselves, right? Vayne separating himself to force the other teams into each other, coming back on over towards his team, the rotation on over towards the truck. All of those teams are so well seasoned and very well, they're just talented teams. There's no other way to put it. That is not easy to do. 100 Thieves made that look easy, and that's a sign of a great team.
Yeah, and so now that means we have 1 game left to go. So we're going to take another break. When we get back, we'll have game number 6 after this.
We have our 5th winner in 5 games as 100 Thieves take the victory there in game number 5. And I love to see Scurry just standing there above the team with the PK, just landing all of his shots, taking everybody down, and 100 Thieves grabs the win. Let's check out our player of the game here for game number 5. And it's going to go to the man himself, 6 kills and an assist, just short of 1,300 damage there on the Gibraltar. Well played from 100 Thieves. It was looking like Renegades were maybe going to be able to pull a win out of nowhere as they were able to get off of that low ground, but they weren't able to do it. 100 Thieves holds on, wins the late game fights here, and takes a W. And this is a team trying to build some momentum. They have struggled and had a lot of ups and downs since their ALGS championship win last June, but they're looking to regain some form, and that win is at least going to help that out a little bit. And now, again, things continue to be interesting on the Mobile One leaderboard as we have not seen any repeat winners. So it's about those squads that, even if they aren't winning, can continue to put consistent points up on the board. We'll have to see how things shake out on the standings when we go back to our friends Tom and Jamerson here in a moment. But do want to remind you guys, if you're looking to pick up some products from all of our partners here at Series E and Esports Arena, you can grab them all at walmart.com/esports arena. So make sure to head over there today and grab anything that you need. We're going to a quick break. When we come back, we get ready for the final game of the night here in week 2 of Series E. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Eat, Speak, Compete.
Eat, Speak, Compete.
Yes.
Name, incredible. Logo, even better.
I'm your host, as always, Yeso, joined by my co-host, Luke Shimone Brew.
There's a lot to unpack there. I don't even know where to start.
If one of the North American teams doesn't win, their 2021 season is done. I got my fingers crossed. I think you got this. Let's turn more towards the competitive side. They finished strong.
Like 35-2.
They finished strong. They look.
If the only intent is, hey, let's make this game as esports as possible, then sure, but that's never going to be what Nintendo does.
And I'm very curious to see what kind of their first take on what a Valorant World Championship should look like.
Dang. That's super fun sounding.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
That sounds super fun. I think that
Hey everyone, Yeso Claus here to wish you a very happy holidays. We here at Esports Arena are definitely getting into the spirit of the season. And it all starts off with the 12 days of Gamesmas. Kicking off on December 2nd and running all the way through December 19th, we'll have tournaments going on for a range of awesome titles, including Apex Legends, Smash Ultimate, Halo Infinite, and more. The awesome part is you can earn points throughout the entire event. Now you get points by participating in tournaments, placing high in said tournaments as well, and if you come and donate canned food or toys for Tots. We've also got some awesome Esports Arena merch bundles going on all throughout the month of December. So if you're looking for a stocking stuffer or a present for that gamer in your family, make sure to check those out and pick one up. If you need any further information about Gamesmas and what we've got going on, head over to matcherino.com/ESA today and come and spend your holidays with us here at Esports Arena.
All right, welcome back, guys, to Series E. We're about to get into game number 6, but before we do, let's check in with the Mobile One leaderboard to see who's standing up top. And I have to imagine, oh no, I thought it might have been Complexity, but with that win, 100 Thieves find themselves in second place, and XSET are now in first place with 56 points, but it is an extremely tight race, Tom.
You straight jinxed all the Intel teams, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there. Intel is in 18th place. The former Intel squad, Esports Arena, not even having their best performance either, sitting in 10th place. And then Ghost Gaming, They're sitting in 17th. But what a job. What a performance from Team XSET. We have to give credit where credit's due as we take a look at the Mobile 1 high performance moment. I really impressed with the way that they have gone about their business so far.
I'll own it. I'm definitely cursing the Esports Arena teams, but also the other team owning it. It was 100 Thieves at the end here. They did a great job of just holding down their position, controlling all that Western zone and setting themselves up for the win. Like you said, Vayne was doing an amazing job of just making sure no one was able to advance on their spot, and they kept it absolutely immaculate there up until the end. Let's go ahead and head into the final game of the evening. Join on board with 100 Thieves, who took that win in game number 5. As it all comes down to this, we have about 4 teams that are currently playing for first place right here. And so XSET, who have been amazingly consistent all night, need to have a good game, and they might even have to secure a win. It's 100 Thieves dropping over on the eastern side of Skyhook right now. And it looks like this is just going to be a typical drop for them. But this time around, we get a look at the ring, and it's going down to the southwest, Tom.
We haven't had any type of diversity in circles this long, if not ever. Okay, so this has been a real treat to watch, honestly, especially if you're a fan of competitive Apex, or even if you're playing in there. Whenever you're playing, this is exactly what you really hope for.
Yeah, this one's really difficult to call. I'm wondering if it's going to be the train platform on the eastern side of Thermal. Is it going to be that connecting area between Thermal and Tree? Is it going to be the fence ending just north of Tree? This one's another extremely difficult ring to call, and so teams probably going to lurk around and try to get that third ring scan to have much better information. Now, Team Intel, once again in that fight up against Absolute Monarchy. They are not going to allow them to get away for free this time around, giving them no space whatsoever, and they're backing them up into the cliffside of Overlook. They're ready to advance. It looks like they might have one player actually caught out by himself currently.
Intel's been on the prowl. They lost the previous 50-50 over towards the no-name area, but they have been getting the short end of the stick in terms of armors, let's be honest. And Overlook's never been a place that's been known for having the best loot, but Petty Boss takes so much damage. That's almost a fat L right there. I mean, just that amount of damage that he takes. But fortunately, Cody and Mooney are there for the cover. Look at the angle from Cody. Cody's been the MVP for a majority of these fights.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job as that Valkyrie player of maintaining height, maintaining that angle, and being a constant threat. And you have to keep an eye out for, right? On the other side for Absolute Monarchy, they have to consistently be looking up for him to figure out where the hell he is, but instead they're keeping their eyes on Petty Boss right now, who is stuck down there inside the pipelines, and he's dropped down. He's used up all of his heals as well. We saw he only had the 2 cells. He's not going to be able to heal up his shields. He used slow meds, the syringes, just to get up to full as well. And so now Team Intel are still playing from behind right now until Cody is getting so much damage off for them. This is so much value as they try to make the full push on to Petty Boss. But take a look at that. There it is. The quick knock onto Sung. It's traded back. Now Cody going for a second pass. It's still a 1v2. He has to be careful, but there it is. He got the knock onto stops, Tom.
All right, let's just give Cody the MVP trophy while we can, because that's one of those moments where if you lose that fight, you're like, all right, I quit. I honestly quit Apex because I did literally every little thing that I could. You can't really play that any more perfect than Cody. I mean, the massive shots into the Valkyrie jetpack were just so fun to watch and just so well executed, and rightfully rewarded for that one. Nice nade, only connecting for... I feel like if you throw a nade that looks that good, they should give you bonus points.
That was really nice. He just landed it right on top of his head. Unfortunately, it wasn't a full connect from him, but a prize. He gets tagged and he's going to be forced back, but honestly, they should be fairly happy with this position. They have a beacon on their building, and so I get that they want to play a little bit more forward, but just making sure that no one pushes through that choke, having that beacon for themselves a little bit later on is going to be super important, as we don't know where this ring is going to pull.
Yeah, this is a difficult one to go and predict. Meanwhile, like teams like 100 Thieves, right? When we know this is going over towards the southwest side, what do? Okay, so you're going to take the really strong Valkyrie player and put him on Caustic. That's how I know they're trolling.
Yeah, they have to be messing around at this point. I don't think this works at all. I believe we've seen Verholz try the Caustic in the past when They were on Esports Arena. It was not something that worked out for them, which is why they ultimately made swaps, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, I do not like this look coming out from TSM. Just Verhulst has put in so much work over the course of the season in the ALGS on that Valkyrie. And so getting rid of that identity and forcing him to play something, that doesn't have as much movement as a Slayer, it's not a good look for them at all whatsoever. At least have a decent position here and Tree.
Listen, TSM, they know Apex really, really well, right? Better than I do. But here's the thing. Whenever you're changing your composition midway through, it's just not a vibe, man. Like, nothing's worse than feeling like you're really, really strong on a legend and then being told to play something else, And I just don't think that Verhulst is someone to be like, hey, you know what? I want to play Caustic. Let's do that. It's like he was probably told to play Caustic, which is putting him in an uncomfortable situation, right? It's just like, now Hal has played 3 different legends over the course of 6 games. I get it, trying out different things. There's opportunities to go and try it. Scrims, Esports Arena. I really think that that's something that you try in ranked, though, or that you go and try in scrims. When it comes down to this type of scenario, making someone uncomfortable is just going to continue to make them more uncomfortable. So why not play with what you possibly think going down? I just don't see the thought process here. You can see it from a mile away. TSM needs to be running Valkyrie on Verhulst reps, Gibraltar. Hal needs to be playing Ashe or something else. Maybe it's going to be Wraith. That is my keys to success for them. And coming from the person that wants to see them do well, right? I want to see them do well. I want to see them playing their best Apex. All right, CLG, you guys got this.
I'm just happy to get a surprise Tom's keys to success here from the ALGS. But yeah, I think cutting down on the agency that Verhulst has, right? Having the creativity of movement, cutting that off, just really cuts his effectiveness down to like 30% of what he could possibly do on Valkyrie in comparison, So it's definitely a tough look. Also a tough look. It's been CLG all day long. I believe 0 points still. I didn't actually take a look at the bottom half of the leaderboard going into game number 6, but this is a position where they're going to have to fight pretty hard out of. They were committing all the way over here to the southwest side. I'm wondering why, even though they've got that beacon scan, they're committing on to what will not be in the ring or should not be in the ring. And so this is going to be a little bit rough. We'll see, though. Maybe they're just trying to play the super slow side so that they can secure top 15 and a point.
I hope so. I think that's what they're going for. They're going to go, hey guys, let's go to the spot where no one else is going to be, no one else is interested in holding. And if we go there, then no one will mess with us. And I think that's what CLG's doing at this point.
Yeah, Team Liquid, though, they made their way on down south. They're not too far off. They're over at staging right now. And they've got the beacon to play off of. And so I don't see them moving from here for like another 5-6 minutes. And they should be pretty content, especially, of course, the loot that they end up getting from trials. Here's the scan, though. So let's go ahead and take a look at the map to see exactly where this circle is going. Because like I said, I really want to see that Ring 3 scan just because I can't tell where this pole is.
The map is knowledge, and knowledge is power, Jamerson. That's what they always say. And now, as we take a look at this scan, I still have no idea where this thing is going. Let's be honest. This is nothing. that scan did nothing. Plus, we have like crop circles on top of crop circles, global ults on top of global ults inside over here. Not quite sure what to think of this one, but one thing's for sure is we've seen a different change of pace from Team Liquid. They are starting to go into this thought process of hitting a scan for zone number 2, finding out where zone number 3 is going to be. And then I love that sneaky play sitting on top of the roof. We haven't seen any teams really making that type of big brain play yet. And I think that's what Liquid's capabilities are. They need to get out of this 7 to 12th rut, and they need to start pushing into the final circles, because if they can get there, now we're talking at top 3s, top 1s. That's where all the points get in.
Are they sending it on a team or trying to secure another beacon? We had pings down over at Harvester. It looks like they're just going to try and bypass the Harvester area, utilizing this redeploy here. They're way over to, looks like Lava Siphon of all places as well. So try to start their way over to the south side of this map. They do get tagged, but it's going to be fine. Nocturnal, he's got the gold armor. Flanker, he's got plenty of cells as well, 3 stacks to boot. And so their economy doesn't suffer from that move at all whatsoever. And so now they're going to be playing on the eastern side. I would like to see, though, if they have a beacon to possibly fall back and pick up in Lava Siphon.
We're trying to slow play the edge over here. This is looking like a possible tree zone, but I don't think it will continue to pull over tree. They're going for the crafting station, interestingly enough, and we've seen teams play this platform and the platform over towards where Nocturnal is, where the zip line is. We've seen teams like Esports Arena for the Lava Siphon zones go and get wins off of that type of positioning, but this is not going to pull over there. This is going to go more over towards that west-hand side, and we'll see exactly where these teams decide that they want to play. Good thing they went towards that crafting station, though, because it looks like they want to play aggressive. And with the charge rifle, that is a pretty good position for Flanker to go and lock down. But here goes a possible fight. And this is a big fight, Jamerson. This is almost directly in the middle of where the next zone is going to be.
Yeah, for Team Excedrin, they're running that 50-50, right? If it pulls to this side, we're great. If it pulls to the other side, we're fine, because we can go ahead and Valkyrie redeploy, but not if you have a team right there on the other buildings. And so right now it's just about defensive positioning for them, making sure that they have every single door covered, entryway, as they actually let someone in for free. Kimchi takes some damage. He gets arc starred throughout all of that. He survives, but here comes the next push, and he might go down first. Once again, Backslon picks up that kill, and Renegades will take out Excedrin in just a moment, unless Cruzen has something to say about it, forcing out that Wraith Q. It looks like they have the knock shield to cover this res. He's sticking it as the third party comes in.
He's going to go get the finish, bubble into a res possibly, into an immediate armor swap hopefully for a prize. The boxes are down. It looks like Pau is, he's going to be greedy. He's going to go and take that armor swap for himself. Why not try to carry this fight throughout all of that with the Mastiff, but it's not going to be enough. And now you can see Exet continuing to add to the lead. Will Klain go down? Will they get flushed out? This is such a priority spot to be in, such a priority team to take out. How is nobody pushing this? Meanwhile, Complexity, Reptar gets knocked in your kill feed, not flushed yet, but Exet lives to fight another day. Somehow they survive that third party.
Yeah, I like that small presence of mind, right? Because they came in with their third party from the northern side, they felt a little bit more comfortable that if a third party was going to come, it's not going to be from there. So they cover the southern door with a nade just in case someone tries to push from there. Yeah, Exet now with full control over the western side of the zone. This Lobo ultimate could actually be really big if they use the Black Market Boutique here, because you actually cover a decent amount of ground. So if there's a team that's playing over at fence side, they'll be able to yoink their loot there too as well. And then of course, having Kenny on this Valkyrie, like I was pontificating on earlier, they'll have that option. If they want to, they can Valkyrie redeploy to the other side of the island, or other side of the mountain. But here's Ghost. They've been having a pretty rough day, kind of middle of the ground performance so far for them. They haven't been able to get a win. Maybe this will be the game. They have a really strong position for it, Tom.
We do. I love the current meta of Apex right now, and I love seeing, even though we're talking about it, like teams like TSM still trying to figure out what they want to do, what composition they want to play. I think that any of these compositions are viable. It's just a matter of how you're going to go and approach the situation, right? Teams like Vizio have been doing phenomenal. Teams like Exa have been doing phenomenal. But there's certain type of play style that's been working out, and they've been doing it over and over again. We've seen kind of mixed match play styles from a handful of different teams where they're not quite sure what they want to do. I think that that's key. For example, Malice, they win game number 1 with Pathfinder. They've stuck it out the entire time.
Oh, take a look. Big fight taking place once again. Exet losing out on 1 as Team Trash push on up, and CLG might secure their first point. Come on, get a knock, boys. There it is onto Dreza, but they haven't secured the thirst quite yet. So it's not quite there. They're also close to getting 15th place, and that could be the point for themselves. There it is. Dreza, Metro secures it. They did it.
CLG wins.
It's a moral victory, at least, at the very least. But now they are able to push up as well, no longer able to play the far edge, and they secure themselves the point. Splash have to be careful in this position, though, because there are so many teams right now to their north that they can get pushed by. And so they can't hard tunnel onto Ghosts who are playing that connector, and so they're going to go ahead and avoid that now as they start making their way up to the north, but I don't think they're going to like what they see when they turn the corner.
Exet's already made almost a tournament-winning play, though, right? Going in for that third party, they're still picking up kills. They're going to be in the next couple of zones, and that's the key, right? Because now, dog-eat-dog, all these teams are going to start eliminating each other. people start to get extra hyper aggressive in the final game because they understand the math and what needs to be done in terms of catching up to these teams. And they've already seen Xset in the lead, picking up kills and multiple squad wipes along the way. So things are going to get easier and easier here for Xset. It's just a matter of waiting things out inside that building.
We did get the ring scan actually coming out from Splash though, because they were able to camp on that beacon building, and it looks like it's going to be a fence ending. If anything though, if not the fence ending, it'll be pulling basically out of the mouth of that train tunnel. It'll be the final ring. CLG will port their way in to pick up some additional loot here. But they have so many teams in the area right now. I believe Oxygen are still around. We're down to 15 squads though, so that's 2 points. CLG have 2 points.
Unfortunately, they're mathematically out of the money, but it's nice to see them put together a solid game and finally starting to put together what their strategies are going to be. They played the very hard edge, then they found themselves pushing up for a little bit of a pressure. All of a sudden, Xset, how did this happen? I swear they were inside of a different building. They must have got out and redeployed to the back of the tree for some reason, which I don't know if I agree with. They had this building locked down earlier.
Oh, 4 points? Is this going to be a 5th for CLG? It is, as they end up cleaning up Team Trash. Now they have all of the western side to themselves. And so again, that Valkyrie redeploy option can be incredibly strong, but there are still plenty of teams on this side of the mountain. There's a team to their north, a team to their west as well. Wondering why so many teams ended up showing up, and I think it might be their only option because we have a team that's controlling the high ground. If Bird tries to climb up here, this can be incredibly difficult. We'll see though. It looks like they are going to go ahead and just walk this one in.
CLG taking out the Trash. Meanwhile, Honored Thieves trying to take this team down on over towards the fence like you were talking about. This is such a good spot. Powerful, if not the spot where you want a Caustic to lock things down. Oh, Amu just ate so much gas. Turns with the Nox gas grenade. Doesn't matter if he gets knocked. And you see Messiah's like, how do we win that, man? I'm actually confused. I didn't do any damage. Did anyone else do damage? He's like, okay.
He was ready to like get out of Discord and just call it a night, but he's like, oh, I gotta keep playing. Okay, TSM. They took this position earlier on, and it looks like they just moved from one building to the next, having to go up just a little bit north. The Pittsburgh Knights out in the open. They do have a lot of coverage, at least around this rock to play off of, as so many teams are going down right now with round 4 closing. We're down to 11 squads as Splash ends up cleaning up Nerf and Ghost going down. CLG picking up more kills, and so they are having, I mean, it's not even arguable, right? It is just their best performance of the evening. More kills coming in from CLG.
It's the best game of Series E, let's be honest. I mean, this they've been goosing away before today. I mean, it's been
of the rest of CLG as well, right? Throughout the rest of the season here. No, that's too mean. Team Intel though. It looked like they might have lost out on Cody, but nice bubble res as they have to commit here onto the low ground. They have some cover to work with, and it looks like, yeah, this is going to be a good spot for them. But they do, look at that, CLG losing out on 2, coming back. Unfortunately for them, they're down to 1 player remaining now.
Yeah, we'll see if that player can round it out, but it's still nice to see them taking some really solid fights and winning them. Fury, is this the last player alive? Okay, it is. That's going to be Intel coming in with the cleanup. Intel, if they didn't have the 50-50s, would have been in such a better position, but now they're stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. That's Petty Boss going down too, and that is your bubble. Meanwhile, Cody trying to survive. Petty gets knocked, no more knockdown shield. The portal was there too. A little bit too late, unfortunately. You can see the safe haven was all the way back here.
Yeah. So we'll see if they have a mobile respawn beacon to try and get him back in. I don't know if I actually saw it on their screens, but Noble now making their move, trying to advance into that same position that Team Intel were at. But they see the port. They don't want to take it quite yet because, yeah, it'll leave their backs open basically to the team that's playing up top right now. So Team Intel for the saving grace for that high ground team, they are not getting pushed right now. You can see Complexity have made their way over to that fence line, and Team Liquid are getting funneled over towards them. Splash caught up in the pileup, are getting taken down. Bubble out, but Team Liquid now find themselves in that sandwich. Throughout all of this, Complexity just turned around to try and finish off Nano, as CLG did survive as a 2-man, and now Team Intel coming in. Take a look at the huge pileup at the fence side. So for every team that decided not to run that, they are happy here, as the rest of the lobby just bleeding out. I think Complexity did survive, though, throughout that scramble without losing out on anyone until Reptar goes down.
Noble with the firing squad. Meanwhile, TSM, they can work in unison here with Noble. They're both the teams that are looking at this fence area, and they have the zone towards their back. So this is the perfect spot to be in. Meanwhile, you're watching Wingman triple take combo coming in for Verholz. Can they get Hal right back on up? Possible res around the corner using the knockdown shield. And that is it for Hal. Unfortunately, defensive department is going to come in, and there was nothing that they could have done about that. If Reps had a bubble, possibly that could have been a little bit different, but now you see Verholz trying to lay things down. I like how TSM played that up to that point. I really think that that's TSM's strength, is kind of staying low-key. They're so good at a handful of different things, but really staying low-key is one of their specialties. And staying low-key is great for when you're trying to win it all in the 50-point format for the playoffs, because you need to get 50 points and then get the dub. The way that they methodically pushed up in the previous games, that was their most successful games. That tends to be when they pick up a lot of kills along the way. They're so good at working together in these small skirmishes. But right now we're looking at Team Liquid in another good position. You can see Team Esports Arena in a solid position as well as the zone starts to close. TSM putting a lot of pressure around the corner.
Liquid are going to be one of the last teams that have to actually jump down and peek out. Maybe save for Esports Arena, who are able to tuck themselves in. Noble getting the large focus from everyone. Take a look at that. The missile storms landing on top of them. Duplex coming in for the flank as well, and Noct should be showing up. There it is, getting the knock onto Rakanishu. Esports Arena, though, could this be a big win for them? Could this propel them into the top 3, top 4? As they were in the middle of the pack, they had 29 points heading into this game. They were down by 25, I believe, up against our lobby leaders. Great movement coming out from Skittlecase there to spot out the team underneath. He has to back off. That was TSM, who survived for the time of being, but they have to bubble early, and now things are looking bad for TSM. It's the final 3 squads. Esports Arena, Liquid, who are just able to get the res as well.
Wow.
And then, of course, TSM. They're just going to allow them to fight this one out and just drop onto the last team remaining. Team Liquid on the verge of getting this win. We'll see if Esports Arena can turn things around, though, and they don't take any damage up against TSM. Liquid now find themselves inside the gas. They force out the bubble here, and take a look at that. Esports Arena take almost no damage and finish them off. Esports Arena will take the final win of the day.
Oh no, Team Liquid thought that they could fly around and get away with a quick one. Instead, they get absolutely punished for that play, and you begin to wonder, like, hey, if they would have just sat there, would they have been okay? If they would have just put pressure on from on top of the bridge, would that have been cool? They were thinking that everybody, there's a little bit of paranoia there, that everybody was going to be focusing on while they were on the bridge, because that's what they were doing the entire final circle. But once TSM met up with Esports Arena, that's when things really got interesting. But we got to give credit to Skittlecakes for that Nox gas grenade. He was waiting for them to land on top of the truck, and that was perfectly placed.
All right, great bounce back performance for Esports Arena, who haven't had the greatest of nights. They were still middle of the pack, 29 points heading into this. Was this performance enough to propel them into the top 2? Well, we're going to have to take a short break, and when we get back, we will find out. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back after this break.
Pressures coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Put the bars in the brakes. I'm talking one chance that was so good for the code. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Let's go.
Six up and 6 down, and we finish on a second Team Esports Arena victory tonight. The only team to do it here. I don't know that it's going to be enough to push them into the top 3 on the Mobile One leaderboard, but at the very least, they finish strong with a nice win there, able to take out Liquid in that final circle, and they grab a victory. Let's check out our final player of the game of the night here, and it's going to go to our good friend Noct. 3 kills and 3 assists, over 900 damage. Has been picking up the Valkyrie since joining the Team Esports Arena squad. Has been looking very, very good on it and plays a big part in their victory here in the final game of the night. But the question now is, who finished atop the leaderboard? It was a very tight competition all throughout the night. We'll have to see how things shake out when we go back to Tom and Jamerson here momentarily. Before we do that, though, do want to remind you guys, we still got shows going on the rest of this week. We'll be back again tomorrow night with our second week of Series E Guilty Gear Strive. All that kicks off at 4 p.m. Pacific time right here at twitch.tv/esports arena. And the new iteration of our old recap show, Final Circle, makes its return for the first time this Friday at the same time, 4 p.m. Pacific time. So don't miss out on that. We'll be talking about all of the action from this week in Apex Legends, as well as over in Guilty Gear Strive, and maybe a little bit of Halo on there as well. So make sure to tune into that show if you missed any of the action from this week. Now we're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, Tom and Jamerson will check out the final Mobile One leaderboard. I'll be back to close the show. Don't go anywhere.
All right, welcome back, guys, to Series E. All the games are done for the evening. We had no repeat winners as well, and so now it's the big question: who ultimately wins? We had so many teams in the middle of the pack, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One leaderboard to see who ends up taking the dub today. And it's going to be XSET who get the win overall. Complexity coming in a close second place because we had 100 Thieves and Renegades just behind them by 1 point.
I think some big keys here is one, XSET, very surprising victory overall. I think that is awesome to go and watch them execute. But the Loba is starting to come into play for North America, which was much more popular over towards EU. But I think there was a Esports Arena double victory, right? They did
I forgot about that.
if I'm not mistaken. My face was like, I thought I was like, got a warhead face going on for a second. I was a little confused, but we're starting to see a lot of different things that were surprising. I think that Liquid coming into form the last couple games was exciting to see. TSM changing their compositions and going through a couple of different things that they were trying to work through is going to be fun to keep up with. And then Team Trash, who filled in for C9 tonight, coming through one of our open teams, did phenomenal. I mean, 37 points, right up there with some of the best of them too. So hats off to them and thanks to them for participating.
Yeah, this was a very frag heavy one too as well. And yeah, I definitely misspoke there or forgot actually. And so Esports Arena, I'm sorry. You guys did get 2 dubs tonight, but you guys did not get the overall dub. Still a good performance, top 5 at the very least. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One high performance moment of game number 6. And it was just this decision coming out from Team Liquid. And
this was the low performance moment for Team Liquid.
And I understand it, right? Because they think we can wait out this team fight and come in, but I think they just took way too long to land, and Esports Arena ended up finishing this fight extremely fast. Take a look at that fast pivot coming out from them.
Yeah, but you also get a little bit of gun punch when you land too. That means that you have a split second that you're not able to shoot, and every little split second is really going to matter. Not only that, TSM did absolutely no damage to Team Esports Arena throughout all of that. So Team Liquid's thinking, all right, we're going to come through, kind of rat it out, but they have the high ground in that instance. So maybe they'll look at that and reconsider how they're going to go and play that final one. But watching all of these little plays unfold goes to show me that Team Liquid is ready to come back, and Knock obviously coming in and filling in and taking for Holst's break, or coming in and filling in for Holst was I lost my train of thought. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Just throw it to you. So.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and end the show. Thank you so much all for tuning in. Congratulations to XF for taking the win. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take the blame. I threw you off. I started off with that whole Esports Arena thing. I'm sorry, Tom, but thank you all so much for tuning in. Yay, so go ahead and take it away before we embarrass ourselves even more.
Thank you, Jamerson and Tom. And Tom, don't worry, man. I know you're grinding, you're streaming, you're working all kinds of different shows, man. It happens to the best of us, Goat, so don't even trip about it. Great to listen to you both here today. Honestly, the Classic Series E duo, they're coming through for Pro Night. Always a pleasure, gentlemen, and well done. There we go. XSET finishing first place, and while I was technically right that Esports Arena didn't have enough to jump into the top 3, they were darn close, 3 points behind Complexity for second place and just 12 behind XSET there for the win. So still a very good showing, but XSET takes the victory. Very good squad here, very good performance on the night, very consistent showing from them, and that's why they take over first place, and they will take home the big cash prize here tonight. That is going to do it for us, though, folks. As I said, we'll be back for Guilty Gear tomorrow and our recap show on Friday, so still plenty more content here from Esports Arena through the rest of the week. But at the very least, if you don't come back to us this week and you will be returning for Apex Legends in the new year, do want to wish you a very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. We're going to close out the show here for everybody watching. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to be with you. We'll see you again tomorrow.